Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. Let me turn off my music real quick and let's get started. I usually don't come on Saturdays, but there is always so much bullshit that goes on. Um, you got to cover it. You have to cover it. And I'm going to be here for a little while. My goals are to impart something with you that you may not be aware of. And if I do that, those are my goals, and you are welcome to hit me up on my goals if you've learned something new here today. Now, we're going to talk about several things, but let's get started with this. Let me get started with this. 1 second. Let me share my screen with you. If you guys are unaware of the news that is breaking about this ballroom, understand that this ballroom, uh, the East Wing, was directly over the bunker. You know that there are many bunkers under the White House. This is directly over the medical and the emergency bunker. So I think that you guys may find this interesting. I know I did. So I want to share this with you. A little information, a little coincidence. Let's put it that way. Maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. But I just want to share it with you and let you hear it for yourself. Please hit the like button. I see no one has said anything in the chat. You're more than welcome to say anything in the chat. You're more than welcome to say anything in the chat. And if you say something in the chat that gets you cursed out, oh well, that's not my fault. So let's keep it a buck. So let me share this information and the coincidence about said bunker and the placement of this ballroom. You know what they say, if you there's no rewriting history. And there's also a saying that history always repeats itself. What do you think?
Hello, my friends. In Berlin, 1936, Albert Speer, the Nazi architect, built a ballroom for Adolf Hitler. A grand reception hall behind the Reichskanzlei, or the Chancellery, was marble and light above, and a bunker below. They called it the Festsaal mit Wintergarten, or the reception hall with a winter garden. It was a place for ceremony raised on concrete meant for survival. You see, the floor for dancing was the roof of the Vorbunker, or the bunker, and its slab was 1.5 meters thick, because even power needs somewhere to hide when the sky falls. And that hall, as you probably know, it's gone now. It's erased by war, but its idea lingers that beauty can be built to disguise fear, that spectacle can be a kind of camouflage. And now, nearly a century later, the East Wing of the White House, as you know, is being torn down. It's being razed to make room for another ballroom. But this time it's 90,000 square feet of golden grandeur, 12 times larger than Hitler's. A room so vast, it could practically swallow the old Chancellery whole. And of course they say it's for state dinners, for pageantry, and for pride. But keep this in mind, the East Wing sits above the PEOC, the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, the bunker of the nuclear age, the place built for when everything else fails. And did you know that cameras are barred from the excavation, that staff are warned not to take pictures, that permits were filed after the walls had been taken down? Protocol, the quiet grammar of democracy, was totally skipped. You see, the renter of the people's house, because the president is the renter of the people's house, has knocked down the foundations without even waiting for permission. And okay, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's only marble and chandeliers again. Maybe it's just another room for, I don't know, respectable spectacle for keeping us dazzled. keeping us twirling, keeping us in awe while the thread of war or the threat of war hums beneath our feet. But I'll tell you something, history has an echo, a ballroom over a bunker, then and now, a symbol of power, pretending it's safety. And when the music starts, my friends, note this, we should listen not to the violins, but to the sound under the floor, the low, unfinished hum of something being built for what they're not yet saying out loud. And I'll be back.
Well, all right. I dropped a link in the chat for that. Not a war room, but it's not a war room. A place to run when shit gets gnarly in the United States, because you do know there will be military in our U.S. streets. This is no fake thing. This is nothing of your imagination. We have been told in Project 2025 that this is what's going to happen. So when it happens, some people are going to have to be ready and protected, and also understand that they have made an announcement that some private donor has given $130 million to the Pentagon for the Pentagon to pay the soldiers. Understand that they have already announced prior to this $130 million that is alleged to pay the soldiers, that they have already said that they are going to go into the reserves to pay the soldiers. So, why is it this person giving $130 million to the Pentagon, which is illegal, which is illegal for the Pentagon to take money and use money that is not allotted to them by Congress? So they want you to, and they want you to believe that this $130 million is to help pay the soldiers, when we have so many soldiers that $130 million would add up to paying every soldiers approximately $100. So, and that they think that everybody is supposed to believe. Oh, he's paying the soldiers. Milken is his name. He tried to not get his name out. His grandfather was over the treasury. They come from a long line of bankers, I believe. His grandfather, I think it was his grandfather, was over the treasury department in the 1920s or 30s. Long money, and they expect you to be impressed and so stupid to think that $130 million are going to pay all of our servicemen during the shutdown. Melon, thank you. He can't use that money during a shutdown. Exactly, Nappy Child. Exactly. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to uh, sh- uh, hear and understand that also. Um, if you notice, 4547 said in his own words that the military were part of creating this ballroom. So, what do you think the military has to do with creating this ballroom? Hey, Nita, how good to see you. The soldiers are going to start speaking out. Well, I just hope the soldiers don't take any unlawful orders. That's the best thing that the soldiers, the National Guard, can do. So the military is a part of building this grand ballroom. Why? Mm. Did you ever wonder why? He said that out of his own mouth. Let me see. Oh, let me share this with you. I don't know if a lot of you heard about there was a mass shooting in North Carolina, and there was also a shooting at Howard University's homecoming. I haven't heard many people talking about that, so I just want to uh, give you a look about what happened at Howard University. There was one person from Morgan State. I think I don't remember if they died or if they were only shot. Morgan State's student among four others shot near Howard University during homecoming celebrations. So if you guys were unaware of this, let me play this. And you know, there was Deanna Irving. She was at her homecoming. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before last. She was at, I believe it was her high school homecoming, I believe. And there was a notice that there were shooting in a town in Mississippi, and I got on Instagram and I was thinking about, oh my God, I hope it's not Deanna's homecoming. And she was like, girl, they been shooting in like two or three towns around here. She said, no, but it's not at my homecoming. So I remember that. So I was glad to hear that she's okay. So let me play this for you.
This is breaking news.
That breaking news as we come on the air tonight at 11 o'clock. Tragedy breaks out during what was supposed to be a celebration near the campus of Howard University in D.C. Multiple people were shot there tonight. This happened during the school's homecoming event, as D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith says 5 people were shot but are expected to be okay. Here's the local tie. One of them was a Morgan State student. Howard is slated to play Morgan State for Howard's homecoming game. Chief Smith says Howard students are not among the victims. Police have arrested 2 suspects and recovered 3 weapons at that scene. Of course, we'll continue to monitor this story and bring you the latest as we learn more.
Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys that information. Thank you, Nita. Be no casualties. So I also uh, would like to play a shorter version of the ballroom and bunker situation. Let me see if this is it. Oh my goodness. Let me see. This is it. Okay. Okay, let me share this with you. History repeats itself, and sometimes much worse way. In 1942, they built the East Wing to cover up the fact that they were building a bunker and a control center. He's going to make sure he's protected. He's let me see. Uh, wrecking he's wrecking hell and havoc on the country. America should not be allowing this. This is our house, and we are the outspoken history fans. And where are the outspoken history fans who wanted to defend statues? That's what it is. So let me get the volume up on this. Here we go.
Not about the ballroom. He's secretly building a state-of-the-art bunker where the old one is. He's planning on staying in power for the rest of his life. That's why he didn't go through the proper channels. He's trying to create an emergency before the midterms so there will be no voting, and he and his regime will stay in power. And where are those people who fought to keep statues up to preserve history? It's not about the ballroom. He's secretly building a state-of-the-art bunker where the old one is. He's planning.
Okay, so there's the link to this chat, along with wait a minute, construction of a president's protective bunker. There will be high technology to be installed for the president of the United States. Of course, there will. Of course, there will. He has no intention of leaving. Of course, if you didn't see, what I plan to talk about, he definitely has no intent on leaving. That honey woman who he appointed to be over elections integrity. She came. There was a story where she actually said uh, her appointment to the Homeland Security Department, and she is over elections integrity. I played a video all about her being a 2020 election denier and all of the shit that she calls trying to say that the elections were rigged. And if you do not know, the Dominion voting machines have been purchased by a 4547 fan, and they are not allowing anyone to go in and find out or check the interworkings of the machines to just simply see if these machines can be hacked or rigged. Okay, Ms. Honey suggested that the new administration could declare a national emergency and justify dictating new rules to states and local government. She said this could be based on an actual investigations, quote unquote, of the 2020 elections. If it's showed there had been a manipulation of the vote. So she's saying that in this next election and all future elections that you can just declare a national emergency and federalize the election systems. And we know that the votes are run by the state. So if you were unaware of that, and on top of that, on top of that, guess who is on her team? White House hires Stop the Steal lawyer to investigate 2020 elections claims. This is the same guy that the White House has also put second in command to her. Let Adam Mokler tell you about that. This is his story, and I want to make sure you are aware about this story as well. So they're not even hiding it. Is the name of his video. I'm gonna drop his link in the chat so you can hear about who they are lining up to rig this election. Okay, here we go. If you are unaware of that, I just kind of wanted to make you aware. I haven't heard any of these things. I think I have heard vaguely that a election denier is over the election integrity, but they didn't go into all of who exactly this woman is. They're not even hiding it. So let's get into this information. I'll drop the link in the chat.
Election integrity of the United States. And this is getting all right. Donald Trump has been sending out some batshit crazy tweets about the election integrity of the United States. And this is getting worse.
Now, look at this tweet last night. Asked former President Barack Hussein Obama whether or not he really believes that in 2020, Joe Biden got 15 million more votes than he did in 2012. 65 million votes versus 85 million. So is Barack Hussein Obama questioning that? So are you questioning that fewer white people would have voted for Barack Hussein Obama in 2012? Are you thinking that? You thinking that more white people just did not vote for Obama than Biden? Do you think that after having you in office, more people didn't get up off of their asses and say we cannot have a second term of this motherfucker, thus boosting Biden's election win up to 81 million votes for him? Okay. Additionally, ask him why it is that Joe Biden beat Obama in every single swing state with the black vote in 2020. I don't even know if every black voters. What about the voters that did not vote? I don't know if this is even true. Even though black voters hate him, he's talking about black voters hate Biden, but in in no other state. So that's a good question. So how do you have the data from the swing states? Because there is a Instagram channel that says in every I'm not I haven't reported on it because I haven't done any uh, due diligence and research in it. They said that in there's some reporting that in every swing states, more than 100% of people have voted. Like in Florida, there was 142% votes in Florida. So, do you really? And every swing states they had more votes than voters on both sides. More votes than voters. So, do you really want people to start looking at the 2024 election? Okay. uh, but in no other state. The 2020 election was an illegal scam hoax that the people of our great country will never forget. That has been litigated in courts. You have uh, gone to court over 60 something times and brought absolutely no evidence. That was your time to bring evidence, but you brought absolutely no evidence of this, and you were laughed out of court, and your case, you either lost or the cases were dismissed. So we're going back to 2020. Understand what he's rewriting history. Okay, let's continue.
Than we could have possibly imagined, because not only are they trying to rewrite the story of 2020 in front of our eyes, we've been fighting against that with the actual facts of what happened. We've been fighting relentlessly against that. But now they are trying to muddy the waters of future elections, and they're laying the groundwork to control the outcomes. I'm not somebody who rings this alarm over and over or rings this alarm without reason. They are actively trying to steal both the 2026 midterms, the 2028 election, and then have control beyond that. And we need to be putting our foot in the ground, planting the flag in the sand, whatever you want to say, right now. Let's start with a recent piece of evidence coming from Trump 3 days ago. He said, ask former President Barack Hussein Obama whether or not he really believes in 2020 Joe Biden got 15 more million votes than he did in 2012. This can be explained due to the fact that COVID had everybody uniquely engaged in politics because people were staying home, paying attention to Trump's terrible handling of this. Yes, the population grew and more people turned out. It is not fraud. Then, Trump says, additionally, ask him why Joe Biden beat Obama in every single swing state with the black vote in 2020, even though the black voters hate him. Obviously, the black voters don't hate him at the end of the day. But in no other state, the 2020 election was an illegal scam/hoax. This is the president of the United States pushing election fraud lies. Trump continues to tweet out last night.
Now, this one right here, which Midas Touch responded to just then, documents show conclusively that Christopher Wray, who was over the FBI, who is the person that 4547 put as the head of the FBI, and deranged Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, and other crooked lowlifes from the failed Biden administration signed off on Operations Arctic Forest. They spied on senators and congresswomen and even tapped their call. They cheated and rigged the 2020 presidential election. These radical left lunatics should be prosecuted for their illegal and highly unethical behaviors. So, Merrick Garland, Jack Smith, Christopher Wray, your own appointee, and Lisa Monaco. She worked. I forget her position. I forget. her position. They rigged the 2020 presidential election. How did they rig the 2020 presidential election be- between yourself and Biden when they were in the Biden administration? How did Merrick Garland, uh, Jack, what is his name, uh, Jack Smith, and Lisa Monaco, who were appointed under the Biden administration, do something in 2020 when they had no clue that they were going to be in the administration? How did they rig the 2020 elections? But y'all call Biden crazy. Now, Midas Touch wrote, wow, very impressive for them to do all of this in, they would have had to do it in 2019 while Trump was president. No, in 2020, while Trump was president, and they weren't even in government. Very normal post from the President of the United States. So let's continue.
This is another piece of evidence that is more recent. I mean, there's a lot of evidence, but this is recent. He says, just in, documents show conclusively that Christopher Wray, deranged Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, and other crooked lowlifes from the failed Biden admin signed off on Operation Arctic Frost. They spied on senators and congressmen and women. They cheated and rigged the 2020 election. Midas Touch points out, wow, very impressive for all of them to do this in 2020. While Trump was still in power, he was the president, and they weren't even in the government. Jack Smith was not a special appointee then because that didn't happen until 2023. This is insane. The president of the United States doesn't know anything. Mehdi Hassan points out there is literally nothing. Nothing Biden said, did, gaffed, misspoke, misremembered, nothing. Not even that car crash debate that comes close to this level of derangement and proud detachment from reality. Again, the president is spreading lies about the last election, using people that weren't even in power. But it gets so much worse. You guys remember Mike Lindell, the crazy MyPillow guy, who I actually debated early on in my career in Wisconsin. It was one of my most popular videos, but we made a lot of progress since then. We're no longer debating crazy MyPillow guys. But this dude was the most deranged of the deranged, spreading election fraud.
And if you don't know, the Mike Lindell guy has a TV news station. The Mike Lindell guy was the one of the main people who were pushing that the Dominion voting systems had changed votes and all of this. If you don't know, he actually has what he is calling a news channel, and the only people who signed on to that Pentagon demand that they cannot write a story unless it's approved by somebody in the Pentagon. Mike Lindell, what's that other guy? The one, the Sandy Hook shooter denier. I see his face. That Alex Jones. These are the people who signed on, who will be giving you your press releases from the Pentagon, because every other well, I can't even call them honorable. Most of them, because most of them don't ask any questions. But these are the only two who signed on to get all of their stories signed off by the Pentagon. Understand? But let's get back to what we're talking about here.
Lies, bankrupting himself over and over, hopping from lawsuit to lawsuit to spread election fraud lies. And, now people that surrounded Mike Lindell, some of his closest friends, the most deranged people in politics, are now leading the election integrity division for Trump. Trump just hired Kurt Olson, who is a lawyer that tried to nullify the 2020 election results on behalf of Texas. He said, he was from Texas, and he asked the Supreme Court to just throw out votes from all of the states that Trump lost. So incredibly deranged that they didn't even entertain it. He spent years pushing this Stop the Steal thing, and I spent so much time arguing against this and arguing against January 6th. By the way, we have a new debate show dropping tomorrow.
This is Kirk Olson. That's why his picture was up. This is who they hired.
and we debate about January 6th, Charlie Kirk, all of that. Here's a little sneak peek. Take a look.
Let's go beyond that.
Campaign lawyer who tried to overturn the 2020 election feed with post notifications on. Make sure you check back tomorrow. But Donald Trump hired this guy as a special employee. Let's read this. It's so incredibly deranged because a former Trump campaign lawyer who tried to overturn the 2020 election is now rejoining the administration to investigate the 2020 election and voting related issues going forward. They are trying to relitigate the 2020 election now that Trump is in office. And it's honestly the worst possible reality. We need to make sure we say over and over, Donald Trump took 62 different cases to different courts. He lost every single one. After he lost those court cases, he had to just rely on people like Rudy Giuliani, crackpots around him. Mike Pence repeatedly said, hey, dude, the election wasn't stolen. Mike Pence repeatedly came up to Trump and said, the election was not stolen from you. We lost. Donald Trump didn't like that, so much so that his followers were then yelling, hang Mike Pence, while Mike Pence was certifying the election results. It is batshit stuff. We talk about this in the debate that's coming out tomorrow, but now Trump is appointing more loyalists across the entire administration. And listen to this. The Department of Justice is preparing to send federal election observers to California and New Jersey next month, targeting 2 Democratic states holding off year elections following requests from the state Republican parties. There are even legitimate fears that they are going to mobilize the National Guard or declare a national emergency, for example. Officials plot to have Trump declare national emergency in 2026, raising fears he may hijack the next election. I am not trying to do this to stir fear or chaos. I am not somebody who does that or tries to draw up conspiracy theories. Never in my channel have I reported something that is a conspiracy theory. This is all absolutely true. The Justice Department under Trump has been demanding specific voter data from swing states that Biden won, states like Arizona or Pennsylvania or Georgia, and they're claiming it's for transparency. Now, Pritzker has been reporting this, other governors have been reporting this, but what it really is a hunt for ammunition to justify voter purges, to justify challenges in 2026, and they're even building tasks of election observers for blue states, as I was just reading. Let's continue to read this right here, because Trump is getting increasingly deranged with this election stuff. The department announced it was planning to monitor polling sites in Passaic County, New Jersey, and 5 counties in Southern and Central California: Los Angeles, Orange County, Kern County, Riverside, and Fresno. The goal, according to this department, is to, quote, ensure transparency, ballot security, and compliance with
The goal is to try to intimidate voters and have a low turnout. That is the goal. Let's be clear what the real goal is. Let's continue.
federal law. Check this out. Kyle Klinsky points out, so Trump is, number one, aggressively gerrymandering. I mean, that's the most severe and most immediate election fraud that we're seeing coming up. In the 2026 midterms, they're trying to create new seats out of thin air in the mid-census. But Trump is, number one, aggressively gerrymandering. 2, he signed an executive order to have DOJ oversee elections. Number 3, he's mandating all state voting data to be given to the feds. Number 4, he's appointing
DOJ is going to oversee the elections. Make that make sense. This is an administration who is driving everything on meritocracy, on the merits of the people. What merits would Doge have to oversee the election? They have absolutely none. Kind of like they had absolutely no experience in government. Now, seeing that you gave these unqualified people the ability to shut down government agencies. I mean, it's not like you gave a fuck about them anyway. The whole mission was to just shut down these government agencies. But in doing so, Doge did so poorly that there were slews of court cases and thousands of people who had to be reinstated in their jobs. And then you will give them the task of overseeing the election. Doesn't that sound purposeful? Doesn't it sound that like Doge are incompetent and are only there to fulfill the mission of the dear leader? Uh, uh, like everyone else who said their mission is to follow 45, 47's agenda anytime you ask them a question. They getting rid of uh, agencies that don't align with 45, 47's agenda. So you don't think that they're gonna be getting rid of votes that don't align with 45, 47's agenda? Doge. People are going to, but they got rid of DEI, and they have some DUMMIES in the department who's going to oversee the fucking elections. Let's continue.
2020 election deniers in key positions. And this is on top of Dominion voting systems being sold out to a MAGA hack. They are going for it. He is empowering election deniers in the government to go and rewrite history. And we need to be crystal clear about that. If you support our venture to push back against the lies, you can subscribe below. We are pushing towards 2 million followers. You know, I might make an entire video, like an hour video, just focusing on debunking the election fraud stuff so that the American people can understand the truth. If you want,
All the American people, unfortunately, don't even want to know the truth. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat. These are some links that I have not added to the chat. Now, I'm going to try to stay on topic because I didn't plan to be here long. Here's that link to Adam's channel. Adam, I have stopped watching Jubilee because it appears to me that they try to have and uh, try to platform the most hateful, racist people on Jubilee, and someone has to sit. People have to sit down and have this all of this hatred spewed at them, like they did Mehdi Hassan, telling him to go back to his country, and he said that the worst parts were edited out and telling him they don't believe that he's a United States citizen even though he was born in America, and all of the ignorance. They it's not, you know, why does a liberal person have to how come they just can't have a debate with a conservative person? No, they have to have a debate with someone who debated Mehdi Hassan, said with a big smile on his face, "Yeah, I'm a fascist. Yeah, I'm a fascist," and then came back crying that he lost his job and blah 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 blah. Okay, so you already subscribed? Yes, subscribe to Adam. So Adam, my whole point about Jubilee, Adam had a Jubilee debate. So I will watch Adam, and I did watch Amanda Seals rip them apart as well. They just be all hyped up to be shut down. And if you did not watch, I would advise you watch Mehdi Hassan. I would advise you watch Amanda Seals. Uh, what is that other guy? Sam Cedar. I would suggest you watch the Sam Cedar. These are all Jubilee debates. Sam Cedar, Amanda Seals, Mehdi Hassan, and the upcoming Adam Mogler. Those are the ones that are, keen in my mind right now. So let me get to my main topic. If you are I'm pretty sure you guys are aware about the new pardon that 45, 47 gave the guy who made him billions in Bitcoin from the Binance, the corporation Binance. 45, 47 pardons convicted Binance co-founder He calls himself CZ, Changping Zhao. This is the man right here, President 4547 pardon CZ, the founder of crypto exchange Binance, according to a statement from the White House. Why it matters. The pardon likely provides a path for Binance to operate in the U.S. See, they were banned from operating in the U.S. for what he did. Now, even though he stepped down as the chair of his company, that Binance is where 4547 what is it, Liberty Financial or World Liberty, whatever, where his Bitcoin is placed and made a lot of money. Even though, let's see what they're saying. President Trump exercises constitutional authority by issuing a pardon for Mr. Zhao, who was prosecuted by the Biden administration in their war on cryptocurrency. In their desire to punish the cryptocurrency industry, the Biden administration pursued Mr. Zhao despite no allegations of fraud or identifiable victims. Now, no allegations of fraud or identifiable victims. Keep that word victims in your head. Now, understand that he pled guilty to this. He absolutely pled guilty to this. But this is what this administration said, that there was no allegations of fraud or identifiable victim. White House Speaker Caroline Leavitt said in a statement. Catch up quick. CD was sentenced to 4 months in prison after pleading guilty to one count of violations of the Bank Security Acts. Would not that be fraud? Would that not be fraud? We're going to get to the victims as well. Rumors of investigations into the company swirled for years. CD stepped down as at the time, and the new CEO, Richard Tang, has run Binance since. And then it goes into their thanks. This link is in my description box. CD Vision not only made Binance the world's largest exchange, but crypto exchange, but shaped the broader crypto movement. Binance remains focused on building a secure, transparent, and user-friendly platform that reduces fees and increases access to the financial system for all. Of the friction point, the Trump family potential ties to Binance has been a source of discussion since the summer. In May, World Liberty Financial, the Trump family's crypto venture, announced that a Emirati state-backed venture fund would use World Liberty's new stablecoin to complete a $2 billion investment in where? Binance. Do you see the problem? Do you see the problem? And so now Binance will not have to go through Emirati state, because since he's gotten that pardon, they are going to allow him to actually work in the United States. That prompted a sharp a statement from Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, a frequent critic of 4547 and the crypto industry, who's signaled Thursday that the pardon could further complicate negotiations around major crypto deals. So, let me see if there's anything. First, Chang Pan pled guilty to a criminal money laundering charge. So, it's money. So, Caroline Leavitt said that he did nothing. What did what did she say? No allegations of fraud. Is money laundering is no longer a fraud then, Caroline Leavitt? He pled guilty to a criminal money laundering charge. Money laundering is not fraud anymore. And then he boosted one of Donald's crypto ventures and lobbied for a pardon. Today, Donald Trump did his part and pardoned him. If Congress does not stop this kind of corruptions uh, in in pending market structures legislation, its own in its own, this is lawless. Warren said. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so let me let me CZ is arguably the most successful entrepreneur in the history of the still new cryptocurrency industry, launching the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange, one of the most popular blockchains, and making countless investments across the space. Readers may remember his name from the bankruptcy of the cryptocurrency giant FTX. And I remember when FTX went bankrupt. In that story, he offered to save the company and then backed out once he got a look at their books. So they were doing so much fraud, he wouldn't even touch it. Lately, he's been stewarding investments from his massive fund, YZI Labs. So this link is in my description box. So what do you guys have anything to say about that? Shit is moving fast. I gotta go, but I will listen to the replay. I appreciate you listening to the replays, and I appreciate anybody who comes in and listen to the replay because I am just trying to give you some information here. So let's see what type of victims. Why did Caroline Levitt come out and say that there were no victims? Understand that that's what she said. Here we go. These links are in my description box.
In New York, let's get right to what America's talking about. The partner in chief, another. This time, it's someone who helped Donald Trump get crypto rich and whose company will help Donald Trump get rich. Good evening, I'm Abby Phillip in New York. Let's get right to what America's talking about. The partner in chief grants another. This time, it's someone who helped Donald Trump get crypto rich and whose company will help Donald Trump get richer. Changpeng Zhao, the founder of crypto exchange Binance, pleading guilty to money laundering. That was 2 years ago. He spent 4 months in prison and paid $200 million in fines. He resigned from the company, which also agreed to pay $4 billion in fines. And despite all of that, Trump and his family decided to host their crypto empire on Binance.
$4 billion in fines. $4 billion in fine. But yeah, there were no victims. He broke no laws. There was no fraud, even though he pled guilty to money laundering. Let's continue.
And that decision has earned them more than $5 billion since it was launched last September. Now, that is more than all of the Trump real estate assets combined. But according to Trump, the mogul was just a victim of Biden's war on crypto.
Let me just tell you that he was somebody that, as I was told, I don't know him. I don't believe I've ever met him.
I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know nothing. I don't know him. I don't know him. Pam, are you prosecuting the people who I told you to prosecute? I don't know. You gotta ask Pam. I don't know nothing about it. Let's continue.
I've been told by a lot of support. He had a lot of support. And they said that what he did is not even a crime. It wasn't a crime, that he was persecuted by the Biden.
Like my mama say, who is they? Who are these they who said what he did was not a crime? It's not himself because he pled guilty to a crime. But they told me that what he did is not a crime. Do you hear this? Do you? You have to understand when you hear this man talk exactly what he's talking about. It was an absolute crime that he absolutely pled guilty to. How many people are in jail for money laundering? And they get more than 4 months. And that, oh my God, he got 4 months under the Biden administration.
Administration, and so I gave him a pardon at the support. He had a lot of support, and they said that what he did is not even a crime. It wasn't a crime, that he was persecuted by the Biden administration, and so I gave him a pardon at the request of a lot of very good people.
Zhao praised the decision, and he maintains that he didn't do anything wrong. But just remember what his company was convicted of doing. The Treasury Department says that Binance allowed Hamas to raise money on the exchange and failed to report that.
So they allowed Hamas. You know how the Republicans were saying that anybody who showed up to the No Kings parade were terrorists and Hamas supporters? That's what they wanted to say about American people. But this person who actually allowed Hamas to raise money on his platform gets pardoned. I just want you to understand. I really want you to understand. They wanted to call Caroline Levitt and all of these people who came out and said the left supports crime, terrorists, Hamas, all of this stuff, and that the left are terrorists themselves. They didn't say certain people. They said all of the left were terrorists and terrorist sympathizers and supporters. And they actually said they supported Hamas. This is what they said prior to the last Saturday parade. But they let this guy out of jail.
The Treasury Department says that anything.
Very good people.
Zhao praised the decision, and he maintains that he didn't do anything wrong. But just remember what his company was convicted of doing. The Treasury Department says that Binance allowed Hamas to raise money on the exchange and failed to report that. They also allowed transactions with other terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda and ISIS. People in Iran, Cuba, Syria, and parts of Ukraine were able to exchange millions of dollars in violations of sanctions. And more than $100 million was transferred from a Russian darknet marketplace that sold hacking software and drugs. And it allowed more than 1,000 transactions that dealt with child pornography. This is serious. And it allowed more than 1,000 transactions that dealt with child pornography. This is It's serious stuff, but perhaps the implications for this idea of the Trump family getting rich off of this crypto policy is even more serious. And Peter, I mean, I wonder what you make of this decision for Trump to do that when they are clearly, right at this moment, in business with Binance.
Yeah, the pardon doesn't make a ton of sense to me because he's not in jail, right? This is one of those pardons that's more about erasing the record, about resetting.
And do you mind if I just add, one of the reasons that they're doing this is to allow Binance to operate in the United States, because part of the penance for their conviction was that they couldn't operate here. Now they might be able to. So
yeah,
that's
so it's slightly separate than the actual pardon of the former founder. I'm not going to pardon of the former founder.
The penance for their conviction was that they couldn't operate here. Now they might be able to. So
yeah,
that's
so it's slightly separate than the actual pardon of the former founder. I'm not going to pretend to have a great understanding of crypto, but obviously the challenges here, and one of the reasons why they got into trouble in the first place, is because they didn't follow some of those know your customer rules. That ability to kind of go in and say, hey, let's understand who these folks are. It's absolutely true that the Biden administration, and both on the crypto side and also when it came to trying to throttle back some of the artificial intelligence movements, they were very much opposed and viewed that area with extreme suspicion. This is an area where I think the Trump administration is looking at it and saying, hey, this is an opportunity to reset the table. This is an opportunity for us to look at what the Biden administration did and to try to correct that record.
But are you concerned at all? I mean, Binance lobbied. They hired a lobbyist to lobby the Trump administration to get this pardon. Again, Trump and his family are benefiting to the tune of billions of dollars from this company that has been lobbying them to pardon this man who was convicted. That's the part. I understand the Bitcoin of it all. Yeah. But if this were just a random Bitcoin company, we wouldn't be having this conversation, but it's not. Does that part concern you?
I think it's all concerning. I mean, again, this is the challenge when you have so many overlapping layers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most corrupt president that we've had in American history. And when you look at the optics of this, they don't look good. You mentioned the ties to Hamas and terrorist group, child pornography. There was nothing about this that made sense from why he would choose to pardon this person. It made financial sense. It made business sense. It made sense in the operating income of the Trump family. But I think it's just increasingly this feeling that a lot of Americans have that Donald Trump is treating America like Nino Brown treated the Carter apartments. Those who get it will get it. All right. And so because of that, it's just this onslaught of constant favor peddling, constant ingratiating. Like, he's treating America like a flea market. And I think that's the most concerning part about all of this, beyond just the ties.
Let me play, as we know, because this has been repeated many times on this show and elsewhere, Republicans were very much up in arms about this idea that Biden was enriching himself off of the presidency. Just listen to this.
This committee is investigating President Biden and his family's shady business deals that capitalize on Joe Biden's public office and risked our country's national security.
They have found over $10 million from China, Russia, Ukraine, and Romania funneled through the corrupt influence peddling schemes to line the pockets of the Biden crime family.
Millions of dollars from foreign entities flow through 20 different companies to benefit the Bidens. And what were they selling? What were they offering? Access to the brand, and the brand was Joe Biden.
Where are all of these people now, Geraldo?
The people who were so offended by unjust enrichment and the Biden administration?
Indeed, where are all these people now? I had my mic all turned off, unfortunately. Oh my God. I tried to sneak in and do a live, but my dog is getting on my last nerves. I apologize. I had my mic off. I'm sick of him having these shows where people who really want to talk information and news have to sit up here with these people who are just sitting up here lying and trying to blame everything on President Biden. And then when you ask them actual facts, they can say there is nothing wrong with all of this corruption. This is straight up corruption that goes on in our government. And these for-profit networks sit up here and continue to have these liars back to sit on here and throw up red herrings, fake arguments, and all of this stuff. And the people all they hear is, well, it happens on both sides. Well, this man pled guilty to what he did. There is no both sides of it about it. There is no, well, Biden went after them. If it's a crime, isn't that what the Attorney General is supposed to do? And if it wasn't a crime, didn't he, this billionaire, have enough finance to fight the crime instead of pleading guilty to it? So what the fuck does any of this have to do with Biden? Hey, Z Sarah, it is good to see you. Thank you for being here. If I didn't speak, so the link is in my description box. I'm not gonna bemoan you guys with any more, maybe a little bit. Let's see what Geraldo's stupid ass has to say.
I think that the president, God bless him, I think that he loves anything Biden hated. And I think he has a reflex response to it. Like, I don't know about crypto. Crypto is inherently sleazy to me.
But you know about crime. So if crypto is inherently sleazy to you, shouldn't these crypto crimes be as sleazy to you? Oh, let me go back. So, wouldn't these crypto crimes be as sleazy to him? He can't say anything factual that because the dear leader may frown upon him. So, yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. The link is in my description box. Go over there and check it out. Now, did you lose focus? Let's see if anybody is losing focus because it seems like a whole lot of people are not paying attention. I want to share my screen with you guys and let us know that this is no time to lose focus. I'm going to drop this link in the chat. Please check it out. Let me grab this link so I can drop it in the chat. Here we go, right here. Please go over and check this brother out. He has also been on Abby Phillips' show. Not not as often as he needs to be. So let's get into what he has to say about staying focused. Because God knows we definitely need to. Here we go. Did you lose focus?
Did you lose focus? Pretty sure we had 12 consecutive quarters of growth going into the Trump administration, and then we got our first negative with him in there. Between assassination attempts and salacious comments, were they able to make you forget that the tariffs were just supposed to be a little bit of short-term pain, and the reward was bringing back American manufacturing? Did you forget to check in on whether or not we're gaining or losing manufacturing jobs? Afraid of his economic policy. Usually, the two things that were responses were tariffs will be paid by somebody else. It was going to bring back manufacturing. We're sitting here 9 months in, and the American businesses have paid $200 billion for the tariffs, and we've lost 79,000 manufacturing jobs. Did you lose focus on whether or not grocery prices have gone up or down?
But prices are still going up. That is despite promises from Trump that he would get food prices down if elected. He didn't. And as Jolene Kent reports, the president's tariffs are pushing prices higher.
Did you lose focus on whether or not black unemployment has gone up or down since Trump has been president?
New federal data show a sharp rise in black unemployment.
In April, we got the worst jobs report numbers since 2010. He responded just by firing the person that produces the numbers. But then months later, we got even worse numbers. What did we learn?
I guess the message to the kids at home is you can't fire your way out of being a bad economist.
But it doesn't matter if they can get you to pay attention to something else. Look somewhere else. Get mad at something else. Then you might just forget. Will you? Did you lose focus?
Pretty sure we had 12 consecutive.
Okay, just wanted to give you some information. Let's talk about the cartoon propaganda. We know that if you don't know history, they will rewrite it for you. So we're talking about the rewriting of history and how history is actually repeating itself under this administration as well. Remember I talked to you guys about PragerU. Some people are catching on to what PragerU is doing with their little cartoons and as things and as such. So let's check this out.
PragerU is making cartoons now?
All Americans are equally protected under the law and have equal voting rights regardless of race.
And not the learning is fun kind. I'm talking about animated propaganda.
Black victimhood is nothing if not profitable. It elects politicians and funds racial grievance groups,
pushing whitewashed, conservative, revisionist nonsense to our kids.
White people were the first to formally put an end to slavery.
The voice behind those last two was Candace Owens, and that's why I do not profile her here.
Call it education. I call it indoctrination. Let's talk about how these cartoons are rewriting American history.
Our founding fathers knew that slavery was evil and wrong.
And why we can't let it slide. What is PragerU Kids?
I'm Candace Owens, author of Blackout for Prager University.
PragerU is not a university. It's a right-wing media company. And now with PragerU Kids, they're making cartoons that teach children that slavery wasn't all bad. Columbus was just misunderstood.
How can you come here to the 15th century and judge me by your standards from the 21st century?
And the civil rights movement too.
And now, isn't that what Pete Hegseth, Christian nationalist pastor, said on that live that I said yesterday? How the slave owners were bad people. They were just people of their time. So don't look back on people who were doing the things that was legal during their time as bad people. Isn't that what we heard from this Christian nationalist pastor that is the pastor of our Defense Department Secretary Pete Kegbreath? That's exactly what we heard.
Focused on race.
What did you just say?
This isn't subtle. It's a sanitized pro-colonial version of history, wrapped in kid-friendly animations and catchy theme songs. And here's the fun part. It's already in public schools. States like Florida and Oklahoma have already approved PragerU content for classrooms.
No surprise ad.
That means your tax dollars could literally be funding misinformation for the next generation. This is part of a larger push to erase critical race theory, ban ethnic studies, and replace honesty with good old fiction. Propaganda starts with the youngest minds. They're not.
At the same time, Florida is one of the largest big book banning states that takes actual books that teach the real history of Black people out of libraries and schools. Understand that. And they have replaced it with this bullshit.
Just rewriting history, they're reshaping identity. These cartoons teach kids to distrust movements for justice, question diversity, and idolize founding fathers without context. And when you teach a child that oppression was complicated, you raise an adult who thinks injustice is just a footnote. This isn't new. In the Jim Crow South, textbooks taught that enslaved people were happy. What we teach children about history has always been political, but now they're doing it with animation and YouTube playlists. What can you do? Check your child's curriculum. Ask your school board where they get their supplemental media. Support educators and organizers fighting for real history in schools. And call out propaganda when you see it, even if it's wearing cartoon eyes and a theme song. If you're
Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you as well. 1 second. Hey, Lena. Yeah, it's just so much. Now, Canada said, now 4547 said that he is going to stop all trade with Canada because allegedly Canada came out with a lie. And now they are going over to Asia. They asked 4547 on the plane, will he sit down and talk to the, what is his name? The Prime Minister of Canada, and said no. He said no, he would not. So Canada said, well, oh well. There's one way. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So let me give. Let me go here first. Let me go here first and let you know what has 4547 in a pickle. Okay. Hmm. Oh, I have to find it again. Shh. Let me find it. I found it. I will. Oh, God. Okay, let me get to the beginning of the actual commercial. Here we go. Let me play this. Hey, Lena. This is what has 4547 all up in arms. Canada releases an anti-tariff ad. This is the ad that they released. Now, he said that this is fake. This must be AI, and he is mad about it. Well, this is a actual. These are Ronald Reagan's real words. This is what he actually said in an address. Hold on, Roscoe, stop. Oh Lord.
Caught the ire of
foreign imports.
An ad from
Impose tariffs on foreign imports. When someone says,
latest.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports.
An ad from Ontario featuring parts of an address by former U.S. President Ronald Reagan.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
Has apparently caught the ire of President Donald Trump. In a social media post overnight, Trump called the ad fake, declaring all trade negotiations are hereby terminated, citing a response from the Reagan Foundation claiming the video misrepresents Reagan's words. It's the latest escalation in a rift with Canada amid Trump's trade strategy imposing new tariffs and import limits. Canadian backlash helped clinch an election win for Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Our relationship with the United States will never again be the same as it was.
Today's stalemate with America's neighbor to the north comes as President Trump gears up for tariff talks with the U.S.'s biggest economic rival in the East.
I expect we'll probably work out a very fair deal with President Xi of China.
The two expected to meet at an economic summit in South Korea next week. Earlier this month, the president threatened an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports. American soybean farmers caught in the middle as China has completely stopped buying from the U.S.
We thought that we would be having some trade tension, but we had no idea.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
Hey T Danielle, good to see you. So there's the whole commercial. That's the commercial that has him up in arms. The link is in the chat. Ronald Reagan told the truth about tariffs, and then here comes the Reagan people trying to come out and say, "Oh well, they didn't. It was taking out of context." No, that was the context of what he said. He said that tariffs are sometimes good, but they can be used, but they on a short-term basis. And he basically Ronald Reagan was a believer in free trade. So now we have somebody who has put tariffs on every country in the world. So he is mad that he correctly said what the effects of having tariffs does to the American worker and the American pay. So this is why he's mad, and he said that he will not have any conversations with the Prime Minister of Canada. So Canada said they are going to look for trade elsewhere. Canada is like, okay, bye. Okay, bye. So Canada has said that they will be looking to trade with other Asian partners. So, if you don't believe that this country is going to ruins, you will soon find out. Oh, there is something juicy. Scott Bessent has a plan where they are going to allow hedge fund managers and people who take high risk to manage 401k funds. They are also looking for a way to allow the equity in your home to pay down the debt. You know how they try to tell you everything is good, and your house that was worth 300,000 is now worth 600,000. Why do they do that? Because your tax bill increases on a house that was worth 300,000 yesterday, and if you sell the house, then you're gonna have to pay what is it? Property gain taxes on your house, capital gain taxes on your house for $300,000 that your house is not worth. And also, if you happen, they are going to reassess your house from 300,000 to 600,000, and you're paying those property taxes. And if you're unable to pay those property taxes, you're going to lose your house. And then what is going to happen to your house? Some billionaire is going to buy up your house. So while they are going to say that, hey, your house is worth $600,000, the fucking economy is so fucking bad. Everything else in your life is going to rise, including your tax bill, and you are still going to have to pay for your fucking house, and you're going to be cash poor and house rich and cash poor. Most likely, you're going to lose your house. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. Okay, let me get into this. So this is what this is their big out that they have for the American people. Now, I think I did those. Okay. No war has been declared, but 4547 says he's just going to kill them. He's just going to kill these people in Venezuela. When asked about if he would be going to Congress to actually do what he's supposed to do, when since he says that we are fighting narco terrorists and have our military in the Pacific and Caribbean oceans, that he said no, he's not going to go to Congress as he supposed to do. He's just going to sit up in a chair wherever he is and lie and tell you he has all this proof that they never attempt to show you, and say that we are at war. So there will be no war declarations. He's just going to kill them. So let me share this with you as well. And let's see how that works out for the American people. Understand that we're not the only ones who have weapons. Understand that.
No, you don't have to call him a murderer. Just listen to him talk. Donald Trump celebrates how he's a murderer. You don't have to call him a murderer. Just listen to him talk, and he'll be like, yo, listen, I'm a murderer.
Let's go. We'll go.
And Mr.
We're going to
President,
tell them what we're going to do, and I think they're going to probably like it, except for the radical left lunatics.
And Mr. President, if you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead. Okay.
You see how that murderer was very jazzed about the term kill them. We're going to kill them.
Okay, we're going to kill them.
He held on to the M a little bit longer because, you know, he got jazzed up for a second thinking about murder. He's bloodthirsty. So since he's so bloodthirsty, he's talking about people that he thinks don't need to exist because they're beneath him, you know, because he's a white supremacist. And he said how much he wants to kill people. So as he's making the excuse for his murderous tendencies, and he talks about how he wants to kill more people with zero trials, zero investigations, just shoot them and blow them up. He gets a little bit of help from his Secretary of War. You know, that's why he named him that, because they like killing people.
Some alleged smugglers have survived some of these recent strikes and been sent back to their home country. If they're terrorists, why not just arrest and detain them?
Go ahead.
2 points on that. First, when I served in Iraq in 2005 and 2006, we used to, instead of a gallows humor way, talk about the Iraqi catch and release program, the reality that we would catch a lot of people, hand them over, and then they would be recycled back through and we'd have to recapture them or attack them again. And that's why changing the dynamic and actually taking kinetic strikes on these boats ought change the psychology of these foreign terrorist organizations. To those two that survived the shot on the semi-submersible, think again, compared to Iraq and Afghanistan, the vast majority of people that we captured on the battlefield, we handed over to the home country. Did we always like how it shaped out? Sometimes we did, sometimes we did not. But 99% would go to the Afghan authorities or the Iraqi authorities. So in this case, those two, they were treated by American medics and handed immediately over to their countries where they came from, hopefully to face prosecution, which is a very standard way of handling something like this.
Fully to face prosecution. But we're telling you, we know that these are drug dealers. But the question was, why didn't you prosecute them yourself since you captured them? And you gonna give a whole boomerang story about we used to give the Afghan back over to the Afghanistans, and hopefully they would prosecute them, and then they would be we would capture them and give them over, and then the next thing you know, we have to capture them again. So what you're saying was what you did made no sense to you, because you would have to fight them again once you turned them over. They're right back out here fighting Americans. But you're going to say that that's a good idea what you did when you're in charge. Are you complaining, or are you saying that that was a successful feat? Or are you just avoiding the question entirely? You're not prosecuting them because you have nothing to prosecute them on. Let's be clear. Everybody understands that if you had something to prosecute all of these people on, you would be prosecuting anyone who survived. But see, you guys just want to go out and just bomb brown people, bomb non-white people, and say that they are criminals. That's what you want to do. And have everybody to believe that these are criminals. If they were criminals, every time there's usually a Coast Guard catch a drug ship, what's the first thing they do? They have a big press conference, and they have tables full of drugs actually on the table. The fuck out of my face with this bullshit. Anyway, there's that. Now let's see exactly what they are really trying to get you to not pay attention to. Let's talk about the economy. Let's talk about this current economy. Remember the last time the jobs numbers came out? They fired the woman who gave the jobs numbers, and you have not heard any job numbers since. Remember that? And you're not going to hear, now they're saying, oh, because the government shut down, we can't do a jobs report. Oh, we can't do it for this reason, that reason, or the other reason. Okay, believe that if you will, but let me, I have one more about the boats. Let me share this with you. This link is in my description box too. There are a lot of
Venezuelan
reports.
speedboat, the administration says, killed 11 people on Tuesday.
Now, there was another boat that they struck, if I'm not mistaken, last night. No, I don't want to play this. That's too old. Let me play this one.
Some troubling developments in the last 96 hours as 4 of the most senior people in the executive branch have signaled that they and the U.S. military are above the law as long as they do whatever is in Donald Trump's wishes. This isn't hyperbole. On Tuesday, the U.S. surveilled a boat until it entered international waters and then conducted a military strike on that boat. The administration says the boat was carrying drugs from Venezuela, with the final destination for those drugs being the United States. The administration claims 11 people were on board, people it describes as narco-terrorists. Importantly, those people were not given a chance to surrender. They were apparently identified, determined to be guilty, sentenced to death, and killed with no court of law, no administrative tribunal, no authorization of the use of military force. The administration has not offered any evidence to back up any of its claims about the boat or its occupants or what it was carrying. We're all just meant to take their word for it. As for legal justification for the shocking use of military force, it's been astonishing in its flimsiness and seeming disregard for both domestic and international law.
Instead of interdicting it on the president's orders, he blew it up. And it'll happen again. It's a war. It's a war on killers. It's a war on terrorists. We're not just going to hunt for drug dealers with the little fast boats and say, oh, let's try to arrest them. No, the president has said he wants to wage war on these groups.
President Trump is willing to go on offense in ways that others have not been. It won't stop with just this strike. Anyone else trafficking in those waters who we know is a designated narco-terrorist will face the same fate.
I mean, the legal authority, and I want to talk about these kids, is that there are people who are bringing literal terrorists who are bringing deadly drugs into our country, and the President of the United States ran on a promise of stopping this poison from coming into our country.
Okay, here's the thing. Drugs are bad. Drug dealers are bad. Terrorists are bad. You know what else is bad? Unchecked power. Use of our military without proper authorization. The determination that people should be subject to death without due process of law outside of willing participants in a war. And what's also bad is conducting extrajudicial killings of foreign citizens via military strikes in international waters, with the legal justification being a campaign promise, according to the vice president. Quote, Trump is willing to go on offense in ways that others have not been, end quote, says the defense secretary. Who cares if the reason no one else is willing to do it is because it's illegal? We're going to blow them up instead of arresting them and trying them in a court of law because we're waging war, says the Secretary of State. Again, let's be clear. Drugs are bad, drug dealers are bad, terrorists are bad. But there has been no declaration of war from Congress. None has even been asked for. We used to have debates over presidents conducting military strikes or going to war about whether Congress needed to be consulted before or after. And usually those debates had something to do with imminent threats with super high value targets, not a boat in the Caribbean. We're now simply skipping over all of that because Donald Trump decided that we'll skip it. The administration is betting that most Americans won't care if this is all against the law because we've got no affinity to the people who died in that boat. Seems unlikely anyone's going to take to the streets to defend drug smugglers. As Rubio also said this week, quote, these are not stockbrokers. These are not real estate agents. I wish we had some proof of that. From allegation to action, guilty as charged, case closed, due process be damned. During the signing of a paper that pretended to rename the United States Department of Defense to the Department of War on Friday, Pete Hegseth read a poem of sorts in which he said explicitly that the rule of law is no longer primary.
At your direction, Mr. President, the War Department is going to fight decisively, not endless conflicts. It's going to fight to win, not to lose. We're going to go on offense, not just on defense. Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct. We're going to raise up warriors, not just defenders. We're going to set the tone for this country. America first, peace through strength, brought to you by the War Department. We're back.
Understand, behind that phone, I showed you the first week that he read this piece of whatever he called it, poem. He actually has the crib notes to that little silly ass shit that he just said. A whole cheat sheet is sitting behind that phone that he's reading off of. That's why you keep seeing him look down on that cheat sheet when he's talking this dumb shit.
Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct. We're going to raise up warriors, not just defenders. We're going to set the tone for this country. America first, peace through strength, brought to you by the War Department. We're back.
Maximum legality, not tepid maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct. It's not quite Lin-Manuel Miranda, but those were his exact words and wording, brought to you by the brand new War Department. Vice President of the United States went even farther yesterday on social media, writing, quote, "Killing cartel members who poison our fellow citizens is the highest and best use of our military," end quote. To which a user pointed out, quote, "Killing the citizens of another nation who are civilians without any due process is called a war crime." Vice President didn't at that point take the advice and just walk away. He responded, quote, "I don't give a shit what you call it." Wow. We talk a lot about war crimes here on Velshi, committed both in the past and in the present, in places like Ukraine, Sudan, Gaza.
Okay, so the link is in the description box. Now, let me share with you something else. This is the, I think it was, yeah, he's a 4-star general that actually quit. Let me share this with you. He was actually over the command. He had a 3-year, oh my goodness. He had a 3-year post, but he quit. Because you are sure, who would they be pinning these war crimes on? Because he was in command of that region where they're doing all of this. Understand, he was in the region where they're doing all of this.
He's now stepping down. Courtney Hubie joins us saying, Courtney, this comes as a surprise.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. The commander of U.S. Southern Command, Admiral Alvin Halsey, said he is retiring after just 1 year on the job. His command is responsible for the deadly strikes on boats the Trump administration says are carrying drugs and cartel members to the United States. President Trump saying the strikes are necessary to protect Americans, though some lawmakers have questioned the legality of these strikes. In a statement, Admiral Halsey said it's been an honor to serve, but he didn't say why he was retiring. It comes just after President Trump floated the idea of strikes against cartels inside Venezuela and that he authorized covert action there.
Admiral Alvin Halsey is retiring after 1 year. You see that black admiral there. That could be part of it, but actually there's potentially something more about this, as you heard on the back end of that NBC News report. But before I get to more of those details, we're seeing many of these boats off the coast or anywhere in these international waters, anywhere near Venezuela, where they're shooting and bombing them. This Trump administration has been talking glowingly about their indiscriminate killing of people that they and they alone claim are drug pushers and cartel people, and they're just blowing people up. Here's a report from someone else besides, this administration. It has a direct story related to what it is that they're doing.
2 men believed to be Trinbagonians were killed in the latest U.S. drone strike of Venezuelan waters. And now Alas Cuevas' family is demanding answers.
They say Chad Joseph wasn't a trafficker, just a young man trying to come home. Jensen Levent went to the fishing village to speak with the family.
Like most of the men gathered here at the Las Cuevas fishing depot, Chad Joseph was a fisherman. Both his relatives and residents are denying strenuously that he was involved in drug trafficking. They say his killing was unjust.
When Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar said the United States should kill alleged drug dealers violently, no citizen was listed among the dead.
On the U.S.'s fifth airstrike, Trinidadians Chad Joseph and another man identified only as Samaru were among 6 people killed on Tuesday, taking the number of alleged narco-traffickers killed by the U.S. since September 2nd to 27. Joseph's grandfather, Cornell Clement, who denied his grandson was a drug trafficker, says he has no choice but to trust in God. Now he questions the U.S.'s method of dealing with the situation.
So regular folks like that have no power of what is it this guy in this White House here is doing as far as killing their family members can only trust in God now after there's been more killings. As you heard them say, 5 attacks, 27 people murdered. And we're just supposed to believe them because that's how dictatorships work. They do what they want. They have their positioning. They kill people that they don't think matter. And then they go on TV, including, their nepotism sons go on TV like Eric Trump did here and celebrate the murders while they ignore the fact that these people were real life folks.
And now every single time a boat goes out of Venezuela, it's get blown up into a million pieces, Martha. That's exactly what's happening every single day. I personally have 4 friends that have lost children to fentanyl. This is real life for all of us.
Okay, we're clear that fentanyl does not come out of Venezuela. Are we clear on that? Are we clear on that? Are we clear that that is a region where many people make their money off of being fishermen? And he is talking about there are no boats in the water. There's no proof that the boats that you blew out the water were narco drug terrorists. Let that sink in. These people have absolutely no shame. I guess they saw that America was silent and them giving Israel all those bombs to kill all those Palestinians that they figured, hey, we can do that here too. But understand these troops are not in the streets for nothing. So do you think that they are just after brown people? When we see how black people are being pinned up, also they want to create a they want to be able to have ICE. One of them is in Virginia, and the other one I think is in either California or Nevada, to spy on every American citizen's social media posts. Now, if they are ICE and their job is to get undocumented immigrants out of the country, then why are they setting up spying operations to allow ICE to monitor every American's social media apparatuses? Riddle me this. I have that story coming up later, but I thought that I would interject it since we're talking.
Trump wants you to care about whatever friends he's got that he said have lost people to fentanyl. By the way, I don't believe him. But still, he wants you to care about he and his family. Why should anybody care about you? Why should anybody care about your life? Why should anybody care about the lives of the people that apparently overdosed on fentanyl? I thought they're trash human beings that are all drug addicts, and we need to start kicking them out. Unless they're the kind of drug addicts that aren't homeless and on the streets. If they're rich drug addicts, which would be Eric Trump's friends, then he's concerned about it. Therefore, we should murder people and act like we're actually doing something. I feel like this whole death toll that Eric Trump is talking about, that is racking up of all of his friends and family, he should probably take a look at his brother.
On Rumble, going live tonight, 6 p.m. So much to talk about. Government shutdown, corruption in California, taxpayer-funded vacations for insurance commissioners. It's absolutely wild.
And honestly, if the regime media had an ounce of self-awareness or integrity, they would go on the record saying how wrong they were about all of it.
High as but he's got money, so it's okay for him to be high. It's okay for him to be an addict. As you can see, there's a two-tier justice system. There's also levels and biases within our own society that's like, yo, we'll let this guy.
Okay, I don't want to play all of his stuff. I just want to get to the information. Let's hear this.
Clears this up and shows what's going on. So although it's unclear why Admiral Halsey is suddenly departing less than a year ago into what is typically a 3-year job and in the midst of the biggest operation of his 37-year career, but one current and former U.S. official, both of whom spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss these matters, said that Admiral Halsey had raised concerns about the mission and the attacks on these alleged drug boats. You can imagine that, in a fascist administration, when they're pushing propaganda of just indiscriminately killing people and saying that they're all drug cartels and drug pushers, that when someone who's in charge of this area and in charge of that aspect of the Navy, that they may not want to slap their name on that anymore. That's the first thing I thought. But here's the post from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth about this departure. He said, on behalf of the Department of War, we extend our deepest gratitude to Admiral Alvin Halsey for his more than 37 years of distinguished service to our nation as he plans to retire at year's end. A native of Fort Valley, Georgia, Admiral Halsey has exemplified the highest standards of naval leadership since commissioning through the NROTC program at Morehouse College in 1988. The Secretary of War continued on talking glowingly about Admiral Halsey. They're saying that on the surface because, that's what they're supposed to do, I guess. Not talking about why this happened. Also, Admiral Halsey's statement on his, I was going to say resignation, but retirement. There's not much details as far as why it is that he's doing it, so we could have much answers to it. So here's more. Nor did Admiral Halsey publicly voice any policy objections, urging his command's 1,200 military service members and civilians. In a statement, he said, keep charging. But other officials at the Pentagon and on Capitol Hill said the praise masked real policy tensions concerning this Venezuela boat stuff that the admiral and his civilian boss were seeking to paper over. Quote, prior to Trump, I can't think of a combatant commander who left his or her post early ever. That's what Representative Adam Smith of Washington, who's a senior Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee, said. He left after a year. He's supposed to be there for 3 years. We're indiscriminately killing people on boats, which we've seen in some reports. Those folks claim that their family members are not drug dealers. As a matter of fact, the Trump administration is the only one that's claiming they're drug dealers. And when someone asks them questions about how are you going to determine whether or not these are drug dealers, they go, why do you want drugs in our country? Here's more of the revelation.
And they also say, we have proof. We know for sure, but they present no proof.
While Halsey has been the highest ranking military officer overseeing these airstrikes, the decision to carry them out has been driven by the White House and the airstrikes themselves.
However, if the United States is this administration is brought up on war crimes, who do you think they're gonna put front and center? Who do you think they gonna throw under the bus? 45, 47, J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller. Do you think these are any of the people who are going to have to answer for these strikes? I don't blame him. I don't blame that black man who worked all the way up to a 4-star general. Do you blame him? I don't blame him for retiring.
Have been conducted by Special Operations Forces, with Admiral Halsey largely cut out of that decision making. So you can have Pete Hegseth.
Let's hear that again. I interrupt.
Talking has been driven by the White House. Drugs in our country. Here's more of the revelations. While Halsey has been the highest ranking military officer overseeing these airstrikes, the decision to carry them out has been driven by the White House. And the airstrikes themselves have been conducted by Special Operations Forces, with Admiral Halsey largely cut out of that decision making.
But when it comes time to for somebody to pay for that decision making, they're going to say, do you think they're going to say, Adam Halsey, he was over that whole region? Do you think they wouldn't say that? Do you think that they wouldn't say that?
So you can have Pete Hegseth talking about this illustrious 37-year career, and we congratulate him and thank him for his service. But the problem is you've been circumventing his leadership that he's supposed to be in that position to do, but you're definitely willing to use his name and his face and his career, because none of these guys have a career in the Navy like he does, to put their name on it. So they like to use people, and then when they use people and they don't want to be used anymore, the kind of hits the fan. And this is that shit. A source told Reuters that there had been tension between the 4-star commander and Hegseth, as well as questions about whether he would be fired in the days leading up to this announcement of a retirement. I think it's a pretty clear picture. I think we don't have to keep on speculating and wondering. We've seen Pete Hegseth firing people that aren't towing the line. We saw his long-ass, boring speech where all the military leaders stood there shaking their heads and trying to figure out why this guy is talking to them like he's some kind of authority that's done anything with his life. The sad part is, he'll probably hire, like Brian Kilmeade to be the next admiral that leads these strikes, because, Fox News is big on this. This is when it gets even worse. This is what was mentioned on the back end of that NBC News report. So news of the admiral's departure comes a day after the New York Times also reported that the Trump administration had secretly authorized the CIA to conduct covert action in Venezuela as well. Trump even acknowledged it on Wednesday and said he had authorized the covert action, said the U.S. was considering strikes on Venezuelan territory. So this guy, who keeps boasting and talking about how he should win the Nobel Peace Prize for ending 8 wars that he didn't end, is now boasting again about strikes on Venezuelan territory. That's the second part of after he strikes all in these Venezuelan waters or anywhere surrounding areas. He's starting wars. In fact, he's just carrying out war type in his voice and what he thinks is him being hardcore.
But we have noticed that there are no ships in the ocean anymore. We're seeing that there's like no ships, when the first one we went, there were hundreds of boats. Now there are no boats.
And why is that a good thing? Why is that a good thing? Why do people have to starve and go without money because we have a lunatic out here bombing boats indiscriminately? Why? Okay.
I wonder why. Meaning no drugs are coming across, probably stopping some fishermen. To be honest, if I were a fisherman, I wouldn't want to go fishing. Just a nice...
To be honest, if I were a fisherman and that's how I fed my family, I would probably want to go fishing, though.
Let's take a little trip, because I'd say...
And all these sycophants are just...
Man, maybe they think I have drugs downstairs. I don't want that. I think the fishing business probably been hurt, but there are literally no boats.
You think the fishing business probably has been hurt, but there's no drugs coming to America that would have to stop and refuel 100 times before they even get to American waters. But I stopped them from coming to America. 25 miles off the coast of Venezuela, with 1,000 places that they could be heading. Make any of this make sense?
This was a boat, and we were surprised to see it.
These folks' lives matter so little to him that as he smirks and laughs and jokes about, maybe some of them are fishermen. We're killing them too. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to all these lefties with Trump derangement syndrome talking about how he's murdering people indiscriminately and has no basis behind it. He just said it himself. I'm sure the fishing in the business is taking a little hit. Does he understand what type of hit the fishing business would be taking from folks whose livelihoods are based off of that work, that hard work, that actual work, while his lily-livered ass sits up in the White House and smirks and laughs about killing them?
understands that that is a fishing region, but he all that they can do. Oh well, I'm sure they may have been hurt, but what? But what? Now, uh, Z Sarah, yes, she did win the Nobel Peace Prize award, but she donated it to 4547. So let me share this with you. If you are unaware, I want to share this with you. This is on Axios, October 24th. The U.S. is sending world's largest aircraft carrier to Latin America. If you are unaware, the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, has been deployed to the waters off of Latin America just hours after Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed a 10th U.S. strike against a vessel allegedly carrying drugs. The big picture, according to Chief Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell, the carrier and its accompanying carrier Air Wing is traveling to the U.S. Southern Command's area of responsibility. Where no one's taking any responsibility, but that's what they call it. The U.S. Southern Command USS Southcom covers the Caribbean Sea, the waters adjacent to South and Central America, as well as the landmass south of Mexico, according to its website. Context: the USS Ford has been operating in the Mediterranean Sea before reassignment, multiple outlets reported. It is unclear when the Ford will be headed to the region or where exactly it will be stationed. The Navy told the New York Times that it could take between 7 and 10 days for the USS Ford to arrive for its new mission, depending on weather conditions. The Caribbean Sea and the Eastern Pacific Ocean have drawn attention in recent weeks as the Trump administration has carried out a military campaign against alleged drug trafficking operations that have killed at least 43 people to date. A little information has been shared publicly regarding the strikes beyond Hegseth and President 4547 announcing they've occurred, which has prompted some members of Congress to raise concerns about the secrecy surrounding the strike. Yes, but at at least one GOP committee chair has declined to hold hearings on the issue. They're not. We don't want to hold no hearings. Let them do what they want to do. I hope you guys. Oh my God. I hope you guys now see how important it is to get these fucking weak ass bitches out of the Senate and out of Congress as well. What they're saying, the U.S. military increased presence will bolster U.S. Capacity to detect, monitor, and disrupt illicit actors and activities that compromise the safety and the prosperity of the United States homeland and our security in the Western Hemisphere, Purnell said on X. Bullshit. When asked Friday about putting U.S. troops on the ground in Venezuela, Homeland Security Advisor. Now, why is he answering a question about putting boots on the ground? Has he been in the service? Why is this question going to Stephen Miller, the person who cannot stand brown people? When asked Friday about putting U.S. troops on the ground in Venezuela, Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller said, these are terrorists and they are going to be killed. Backing up. Now, this is. He's talking about boots on the ground. He's talking about. Now, I thought that the excuse for killing them is because they were bringing drugs to our country. But he said that they're going to their country because they are terrorists and they're going to be killed. Backing up Trump and Hegseth promised during a Thursday Homeland Security roundtable to kill the alleged drug traffickers. But if they're on their homeland, they're not trafficking drugs. They're in their homeland. They're not on boats allegedly bringing drugs to any place to traffic these said alleged drugs. Make that make sense. I'm not surprised. It's unfortunate that the things that they get away with. I concur. Rascal, stop. Hold on. Okay. This link is in my description box. I just wanted to give you guys the information. This is what your administration is doing under their authority. Hold on. Stop. Okay, let me finish this. Okay. What we're watching, if tensions escalate further between the U.S. and Venezuela, whose authorization leader? Hold on. I apologize. I apologize. My dog is back and forth. I apologize. This dang on dog is back and forth. So I was like, "Oh, you're gonna stay out," and he has bugged the heck out of me to get back in. When okay, what we're watching if tensions escalate further between the U.S. and Venezuela, whose authoritarian leader Nicolas Maduro remains under a $50 million 45-47 relationship with Colombia President Gustavo Petro, a leftist ally of Maduro, has also as faltered as Petro alleged Colombian citizens were killed in a recent strike uh, I think it was aimed at those boats. Let me see. Aimed, no, I guess that's it. Trump administration, this is a different story. Expand its war on narco terrorists to Eastern Pacific. The U.S. announced it killed 5 purported narco terrorists and 2 strikes or vessels in the Eastern Pacific, marking an expansion of the Pentagon's shadowy military campaign. So this link is in my description box. Go over there and check it out. This is a ever expanding story. So go over there and check it out. Also have another article from Politico that I will share with you about this. Now, we do know that one of the boats also had someone from Colombia on there, and that was one. Did he survive? He did not survive, or did he survive? I think the guy from Colombia, survived, and the president of Colombia, spoke out, and said that this man was not, in fact, a terrorist. And then what happened? Then 4547 turned around and said that that the president of Colombia was a drug dealer himself. I believe he also accused his wife of being a drug dealer. And then the Colombian president had the nerves to say something back. And so the U.S. has sanctioned Colombia. The U.S. sanctioned Colombian President Petro and his family over drug cartels. If you were unaware of this, this is why he has been sanctioned, because there was a Colombian citizen in one of these boats. The United States on Friday sanctioned Colombian President Gustavo Petro in the latest escalation of tensions between Washington and Bogota over drug trafficking and other issues bilateral importance. So, what I want to ask you is, prior to this boat with this Colombia man being on it, when have you heard 45, 47, or anyone in this administration say a word about Colombia and drugs? When? When have you heard prior to him saying that you are saying that one of my citizens was trafficking drugs, and that's not true? When have you heard of these other issues of bilateral importance either? That they can't even tell you what they are in at the time when they're trying to say that they have a reason to be huffing up with Bogota. Now, I think that Venezuela was the Mexico and Venezuela, and he barely mentioned China, where in fact it is reported that that is where most of the fentanyl is coming from, and then up and through Mexico, and that Venezuela actually does not traffic in fentanyl. But they want you to believe that the drugs that Venezuela is allegedly trafficking to the United States is the fentanyl that is killing hundreds and thousands of people. Now, one of the things that struck me is that this administration says that Colombia and Venezuela ought to get their people together so they are not trafficking drugs. So, with the same thought, with the same antidote, wouldn't that also mean that the United States should get their people together so they're not using drugs? Uh, wouldn't, uh, why are they shipping their drugs to the United States? Why is this the Mecca destination for drugs? So it seems like the United States ought to do something to keep their people off drugs. But it seems like for people who are weak, drugs is all the people have. They are offering up drugs everywhere. Why are so many United States citizens want to be out of their mind and high? Why? While they talking about what other nations should do with their people, you ought to figure out why your people want to stay high. That's just my opinion. I don't get high. The United States on Friday sanctioned Colombian president. Okay. In a press release, a Treasury Secretary of all people, Scott Bessent, said the left-wing leader has allowed drug cartels to flourish and refused to stop this activity. So, in the same vein, the United States have allowed drug use to flourish and refused to stop that activity. You understand what I'm saying? The sanctions target Petro and his associates, chiefly his wife, son, and several leading Colombian figures. Okay. Bessent added that the Trump administration's actions are intended to protect our nation and make clear that we will not tolerate the trafficking of drugs into our nation. Reacting to the sanctions on social media, Petro said fighting against drug trafficking for decades with efficiency has brought these measures against me by the government of the country, which will help stop it consumption of cocaine. tell it, which we help to stop its consumption of cocaine. I'm sorry, all a paradox, but no steps back, and never on our knees. Okay, so they said they ain't getting on their knees. All a paradox, but no steps back and never on our knees. It is highly unusual for the U.S. to sanction the sitting leader of a country, okay, let alone a longtime ally like Colombia. But the imposition of sanctions reflects the continued tension between Petro and the administration, as the Colombian leader has criticized the U.S. military buildup in the Western Hemisphere in our name, combating drug cartels. Petro also previously criticized the U.S. for supporting what he alleged was a Israeli genocide in Gaza, and called on the U.S. officials to face charges for recent spate of strikes against alleged drug trafficking vessels that he claimed kills innocent Colombian fishermen. I thought it was just one. Okay. The administration has made no secret of its frustrations his frustrations with I can't find my glasses. Hold on. I'm sorry. The administration had made no secrets of its frustrations with Colombia's leader. Earlier this week, Trump cut off U.S. aid to Colombia after Petro attacked the administration's drug boat strikes. So that's the problem. He was criticized about his drug boat strike. Now, that was quick. You notice how quickly he put sanctions on the Colombian president and his immediate wife and families and all this and associates? But how long it took him to put sanctions on Russia? How come he had so much of faith in Vladimir Putin? And he threatened sanctions how many times and didn't put no sanctions on Russia? Think about that. Think about how quickly he put sanctions on Colombia for them killing someone and not proving that they were indeed narco drug terrorists. Make that make sense. Okay. Earlier this week, Trump cut off U.S. aid to Colombia after Petro attacked the administration's drug boat strikes, and in September, the U.S. revoked Petro's visa, citing comments he made at a pro-Palestine protest on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, where he called on the U.S. service member to resist Israeli actions in Gaza. How dare he? How dare he? Colombia also recently restored to a U.S. list of countries seen as major hubs of narcotic trafficking. The country's coca fields have expanded continuously since Petro took power, even as Colombia has pushed back on its claims that it has turned a blind eye to a resurgence of cocaine industry within its borders. Colombia officials have pointed to the continued interdiction of cocaine. So Petro, who as a young man joined a Marxist guerrilla group that fought against the Colombian states during the Southern American country's ongoing decades-long armed conflict, as advocated for reaching total peace with militant groups that continue to fight against the Colombian state. He also downplayed the need for eradicating cocoa fields and blamed Western elites for driving demand of cocaine. We remember that. Do we remember that last video? Serving corporations with longtime allies, including the United States. So this link is in my description box. go over there and check it out. So I just wanted to let you know how quickly he put sanctions on Colombia. Isn't that weird? Now, let me see. Let me think. Speaking of which, I also want to talk about that. Uh, it wasn't so far back. It was something. It was. Hmm. Speaking of which, let's uh, let's dive into. There are some questions. People have questions. I'm not surprised. It's unfortunate that things. Oh, I read that already. Let me see if you guys have seen this. Um, there are some questions. The people have questions. Since we're on this topic, have you guys heard rumblings about this? Since we're talking about cocaine. Let's see what the people are saying in this chat. Internet hits him with cocaine jokes and Epstein rumors. Someone said, "Look like cocaine. How much cocaine is Cash Patel doing? Man, I once believed in this coward." Now, these are the comments on this video. He saw the Epstein file. Now he doesn't trust anyone, the administration either. So these are the comments. What is this other comment? Cash Patel goes viral over his appearance during the White House press briefings. Do you see these eyes going left, right, one up, one down as they roll left and right and up and down all at the same time, 4 directions and separate directions these eyes are going? Adderall or cocaine? Now, one person said, posts like this are silly. He could have large eyes or even have something like Graves' disease, which can cause your eyes to bulge and look large. Okay, there's one comment. Eyes don't look so bulgy in this right picture, though. The eyes don't look bulgy in this picture.
So today we're declaring public safety emergency. The District of Columbia Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment. Today we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency. Today we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency.
I guess that's I guess that's it. I guess they're just replaying this over and over and over and over again. I don't know what's going on with Cash Patel in his eyes, but it seems like some people have questions. I'm just giving you information. I don't know. Meanwhile, America is the third biggest pharmaceutical exporter, and you know the pharmaceutical industry pushes unnecessary products on folks. Right, when the first free black settlement in the whole America continent celebrating 300 years in Colombia. People are still carrying on acting like all this is normal and there's nothing to see. And this is crazy. There will be a day of reckoning, but these fascist regimes historically last around 10 years. 10 years. And it's not even been a year, and they've already caused so much damage. Okay, so I was just asking if you guys, I forgot who actually bought that up. Um, oh, let me see something real quick. Hold on one second. Uh, hold on. Let me check something. Let me check something out real quick. I think I know who I saw it on. I think I know. uh, uh, did you know that Melania Trump is being sued? She's being sued by is it Richard Wolff, the author who was interviewing Epstein? Uh, Her lawyer sent him a cease and desist letter because he said that Melania and Trump met via Epstein. Now, he had been uh, sitting with Epstein, taking notes. He was going to write a book on Epstein. And because he came out and said that, she sent him a cease and desist letter. And he had something to say about it, but he was like, hold on. He said uh, that he in fact was going to sue her, and she is open to a deposition. So he is going to have her deposed since it seemed like she had a problem with him saying that that's who introduced them, and now he is going to be allowed to depose her and possibly 45, 47, because this is the fact of what she's trying to she wanted him to uh, uh, redact it or remove the video, apologize, and all of this, say it wasn't true, all of this in this letter, or she was going to sue him for hundreds of billions of dollars. Now, who does it sound like actually put this lawsuit together, suing for billions of dollars? Who had a suit for one of these ABC or CBS for billions, hundreds of billions of dollars? Okay, so now she has opened herself up to be deposed. I mean, disposed of and deposed. Okay. Let's is it Richard Wolff? I don't know if it's Richard Wolff. I think it's Richard Wolff, the author. Let me see if I can find his statement. Maybe it's David Wolf. Richard Wolf is the economist. I don't know. I can't find it. Michael Wolff. That's who it is. Michael Wolff. Author Michael Wolff. Now, let me play a short of what he has to say about this lawsuit. That's something you guys may want to Google it. I don't know why it came up in my mind, but I just wanted to share that with you. And I will share this.
So it is now Michael Wolff versus Melania Trump. I'm not the only one who has faced these kinds of lawsuits. This has just become their trick in the book. We don't want this discussion to go on. How do we stop it? We threaten people with lawsuits for billions of dollars. So instead of acquiescing, my lawyers went into court and sued the First Lady. What we are suing for, the New York State, there are a set of laws, they're called anti-SLAPP laws, because hers is the threat of a SLAPP lawsuit. Suing me for defamation in a situation where there is patently no defamation, but suing so that I will shut up. So instead, in a turning of the tables, a jujitsu move about what someone in the White House said to me this morning, well, no one saw that coming. We have sued the First Lady. The importance of that is that it gives me subpoena power. I can subpoena the First Lady, her husband, the president, and anyone else who might shed light on the relationship of Donald Trump and Melania Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. This might be a way to actually get to the bottom of this story, to open the curtain, the dark curtain, and we'll see how they feel about that.
Okay, so that was Michael Wolff. Just in case you guys didn't know that, that is going on. People still oh, wait a minute. I gotta go down a little bit further. Meanwhile, America. Oh, okay. No comments. Okay, so let me share my a couple of more things I want to talk to you guys about. I want to talk to you about what is being ignored in this whole situation. The economy. All of this, and nobody's talking about this horrible economy, allowing people to pretend as if this economy is doing swimmingly well. So let's get some information about this economy. That's not the one. That's not the one I want. I want the different one. Let me share this with you, just in case you're curious about the economy and what is not being talked about. Let's talk about it.
White House says October inflation data. So we have to talk about the economy.
So we have to talk to you about the economy. This link is in my description box as well.
And inflation. And in fact, Trump does not want you to see the numbers. These are the headlines today. White House says October inflation data unlikely to be released next month. We just got some new data today, but they're saying next month, no data. And when are we going to get data again? I mean, the government is shut down, and we don't even have a head of the department who does this stuff because he got angry at employment data, so he fires a person. Trump tried to bring in basically a lackey, and it was so unqualified that they withdrew the nomination. And so now we're in a situation where we're not going to get any inflation data for next month. This is where we're at. This is a quote. Because surveyors cannot deploy to the field, the White House has learned that there will likely not, in boldface or uppercase I should say, there will likely not be an inflation release next month. For the first time in history, we're not going to get numbers.
And what about the jobs report? Nevertheless, inflation, we go to the store all the time and understand how that inflation is killing us.
First time in history. This is the White House's own word, right? The White House said in a statement. The White House did not elaborate. The Bureau of Labor Statistics repeated earlier statements that apart from recall of some staff to generate the CPI, right, Consumer Price Index for September, which was released early on Friday, all data collection and publishing activities have ceased for as long as the shutdown lasts. Now, while this is...
it's about the shutdown. Oh, okay. We can continue to build ballrooms, but we cannot tell you about the economy.
Going on again, we're not going to get...
the ballroom is being paid by billionaires who want access. Billionaires don't want access to us unless they want us increasing their wealth by continuing to buy their products. So understand that without us contributing to what the billionaires have a monopoly on in the United States, how long could the billionaires last if we reject them as well?
Numbers for next month that's coming from the White House say no numbers. You're in a situation where people are struggling with food, and it could get a lot worse very quickly. Quote, uncharted territory, ongoing shutdown threatens food aid for 42 million people. And there's these kind of signs around the country. Please take only what you can use. There are many others to share with. Also says SNAP, the largest country's largest anti-hunger program, dates back to the Great Depression and has never been disrupted this way. And the people who get this are seniors, families with kids, and those with disabilities. This is a quote from someone. This month, I could not afford to pay anything, gas or electric. Instead, she paid her monthly car payment since she needs to drive to doctor's appointments, visit her mother, and when needs to use the car to get to work. If your nephew's food benefit disappears in November, quote, I am very concerned I will not have heat. Will also ruin Thanksgiving, right? SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, is the country's largest anti-hunger program. So we're not getting numbers. People aren't getting food potentially. And the numbers we did get, so we're not getting numbers next month, we did get some numbers today. They came in late. There's no unemployment numbers. I didn't see anything, so I don't know what it is officially. But this is the headlines end today. Inflation climbs to highest levels since January. Beef prices soar. And remember, Trump was saying, guys, we got to save Argentina because they're dying. That was according to Trump, right? And the beef ranchers were like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, what about Americans that you promised to help? This is where the charge is inflation compared to a year ago. So at 2.4 before, now we're at 3. The only way Trump people can celebrate this is say, well, it's lower than expected, right? So I think they were possibly predicting 3.1. It came in at 3% talking about inflation. But the headlines, though, people are struggling, right? Inflation hits 3% in September as energy prices squeezed households. And while this is going on, while people are struggling with food, while they don't want to show you the numbers next month, right? They send everyone home, no data collection. This is a former White House chief historian says the founding fathers would be disgusted by Trump's, quote, palace makeover. That is the Trump ballroom. And get this, he's going to try to name it after himself. Trump likely to name White House ballroom after himself, officials say. And I guess the title will be the President Donald J. Trump Ballroom. And they're saying here 300 million. I just saw in Bloomberg they were talking 350 million. The first number was 100 million. It just keeps going up. Who knows where the money's going? I mean, seriously, who knows where the money's coming from? We still haven't seen a list. And while people are struggling and they're trying to hide the numbers from you, he's like naming ballrooms after himself. And when you check in at the White House, this is what they're saying. An important Friday reminder. Don't be a panickin. September CPI report, inflation lower than expected. I guess they just tell you not to panic. That's their advice at this time. So today's read is actually important because you use this to calculate the cost of living adjustment for going to next year. This affects things like Social Security, and I guess this is the official number now. Social Security Administration announces 2026 COLA benefit increase of 2.8%. What it means for you, and I'll just give you a number, an idea. And you may already have a general idea of your situation, but this is the average here. It says Social Security retirement benefits will increase by about $56 per month on average starting in January. And again, this is 2.8%. Over the last 20 years, the Social Security COLA has averaged 2.6%. So to give you an idea of what this is. So then you have this from the AARP. They say Social Security is the primary source of income for about 40% of older Americans. So again, they're getting an increase of 2.8%. It's about $57 a month on average. But with the way that things cost these days, it's just not enough. As you guys know, it was never meant necessarily to be their primary source of income, but that's kind of default of how things are in USA. If you want to look at what it is sort of in aggregate, it says first, Social Security increases in line with inflation, but trails key expenses, right? It's like next 2030, you can see it right there. But it just doesn't keep up. I mean, things are just a lot of money. I'm sure you guys know.
It doesn't keep up with inflation.
And we're starting to get numbers of what healthcare is going to be next year. This just came out today. Also, average Obamacare premiums are set to rise 30%. 30% is a lot. Now, not everyone is on this, right? It says about 17 million people. So 17 million people, and it could be more depending on your situation. These are, everyone's situation is different, but if the average is 30%, I mean, we were talking before, like some people may see double, triple, and then you have to put this in context of like how much things cost these days. So, for example, this is also news today. Car prices hit an average of $50,000. A car these days is going to be like $1,000 a month. You got new payment, insurance, maintenance, all that stuff. Stuff's expensive, right? And it's like, think about this: the average car price is $50,000. Social Security is like $2,000 a month. The numbers aren't up, so you're definitely not getting a new car. And so then you have these discussions: a new car versus health insurance. Average family job-based coverage hits $27,000. Stuff is just so much. And that's why it's important to have honest conversation about stuff. And then what's ridiculous is like among persons, like if they're still supporting Trump when he's just focused on naming ballrooms after himself while people are showing it's insane. And so how do they talk about this stuff? So I want to show you different points of stations, pushing interest rates lower and setting the stock market soaring, right? So Benny's celebrating that the market is up. Wait, hey, yeah, sure, market's up. It helps certain kinds of people, but a lot of people aren't involved in the market.
Does that help the major part of America who's still out here working, who have to work for a living, who are not invested in the stock market? They use this stock market as some false gauge of the economy. And people who know goddamn well they have nothing invested in the stock market. Well, everything must be okay then. Everything must be fine. Fine for who? Not for your ass.
So, like, for example, if you read it, headline then, why investors are celebrating September's hot inflation report. So I guess the bet is that the Fed's going to cut because we're worried about employment. But cutting rates again could send inflation out of control. And then you get, which is sort of we've been talking about for a while, actually, a K-shaped economy or K-shaped bifurcation, recovery. I want to say this. But basically, like Trump's billionaire buddies and the richest people are doing great, and everyone else is going down. That's what they call it, K-shaped. And a larger portion of the economy and a larger portion of consumer spending keeps going to essentially just the wealthiest, right? And so it is not sustainable, this kind of world, as the gap between rich and poor keeps increasing. And I just want to tell you the truth on this stuff. And it's so frustrating to talk to this stuff. And I just want to express to you guys, I feel frustrated to you as well, because you see Trump in office, like, just blatantly building his gold stuff. We just saw in the last video, he wants to build a golden navy. Seriously, like he's talking about, like, I don't like the way they look. I want everything to be gold. It's so ridiculous. And this, describes it here. Americans are increasingly diverging in their spending, right? So you have two different Americas, essentially, with wealthier shoppers flexing their purchasing power, while low and lower income customers start pulling back. And then you check over at the banks. I just want to show you, like, who these people are.
And
they
how
celebrate
the
the
wealthier continue to increase their spending because the regular people don't pull back. The regular people get information about how Amazon, for example, is about to get rid of over 600,000 jobs, and people are still shopping at Amazon. I guess it means nothing until it affects people personally. We see Marjorie Taylor Greene, how the insurance affected her kids personally, the cost of insurance, and then she spoke up. But she is one of the richest congresswomen, senators in the United States. Who are you? And so when it finally touches you, you don't have Marjorie Taylor Greene money, allegedly from insider trading. You didn't make all of these millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars that Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to come out and finally say how expensive it is for her children to get health care. Because they're over 26. You know, the cutoff age of Obamacare, coincidentally, the Obamacare that she doesn't care for. Well, why were your kids on your insurance until they were 26, Marjorie? Let's continue.
In there, they make jokes that Trump is building the Death Star. Seriously, like this is the stuff that they joke about. It's ridiculous, and to them, I guess corruption and having the ballroom to bring in all of your rich buddies to put in policy in place to benefit more rich people, to essentially have that divide between rich and poor, right? The K-shaped economy, and then you're just like, okay, it's going to be like the Death Star, great, just destroy millions of people. That's what they're doing. I'm just showing you who they are. And we just talked about this in the last video now. Canada's trying to push back. So this is actually Ontario in particular, right? one of the provinces. Ontario to pause anti-tariff ad campaign after Trump called off trade talks. So basically, Trump was just like looking for an excuse to stop negotiations with Canada because it's a losing effort for him, and he's just getting embarrassed by Canadians essentially. Canadians serious. A lot of people are going to see this, and in fact, you don't need to run him anymore. And this is, you can see my last video, that's with the Reagan speech, but you don't need to run him anymore because now you're just getting all this free press on this stuff, right? And while that's happening, and I just want to make it really clear, we're all connected in this. Like, we're all connected. I want Canadians to do well. I want Americans to do well, right? I'm here in Korea. I want Koreans to do well. I want just all regular people to it is so bizarre that anyone would support Trump, but Trump and his people, that they're just fooling their base nonstop, and that's sort of why all you gotta do is tell you what's going on. That's all I gotta do is tell you what's going on.
That's all I got to tell you is what's going on. That's all I got to do. That's all I can do. So, J.P. Morgan, I am is behind a paywall. America is going broke slowly, says J.P. Morgan, as national debt balloons and tariff revenue look shaky. This was on October 14th by Eleanor Pringle in Fortune magazine. I will read as much as I can of this article to you. J.P. Morgan's David Kelly warned this week that while America is going broke, it's doing so slowly enough that markets aren't panicking yet. With U.S. National debt now toppling $37.8 trillion and its interest payments exceeding $1.2 trillion, Kelly said the debt to GDP ratio already is at 99.9%, will likely keep rising even under moderate growth. Despite tariff revenue and temper, the political choices or a slowdown could quickly worsen the fiscal picture, urging investors to diversify away from U.S. assets before going broke slowly. Turn fast is his recommendation. America is growing broke. J.P. Morgan, asset management chief global strategic David Kelly wrote in a note to this week. But no one is panicking yet because government. Oh, okay. That's just a here. Let me see. Going broke slowly. The investment implications of still rising federal debt. So I'm going to drop this link from David Kelly. I was able to open up another page, and if you don't think that what's going on is real, I would really advise you going broke. To secure your safety, I would advise safety, your home, and your cash. That's the only thing that I have for you. I just hope you guys secure yourself. Now, let me. is something else. Also, let them eat cake. If you guys are unaware, um, this is an article from Politico. Let me share this with you. This article. If you guys are unaware about this while the ballroom is being built, let me give you this information. Oh, Publica is where this article is from. Okay. Trump canceled 94 million pounds of food aid. Here's what never arrived. ProPublica obtained records from the Department of Agriculture that details the millions of pounds of food down to the number of eggs that never reached food banks because of the administration's cuts. Food banks. 94 million pounds of food that never reach food banks. You know those food banks that putting up signs, please only take what you can use because we have so many people. You know those food banks that they're showing you with lines zigzagging around the buildings and blocks? Those things. Okay, if you're unaware of this, on a sweltering morning in Vidalia, Louisiana, Shannon Cornwell and Freddie Green got in a long line to wait for food. The couple has struggled to pay for groceries amid soaring prices and health setbacks. They said she had back surgery and he had undergone cancer treatment. They turned to a local food bank to supplement their diets. Although they are grateful for the food, lately they've noticed changes in what they've received. For months in the spring and summers, their pickups did not include any meat, Cornwell said. You have to learn how to adapt with what you have, Green said, which is hard, Cornwell added. That's them. I read a joke. I read a joke. They said that no time for jokes. In the spring, the Trump administration abruptly cut 500 million in deliveries from a program that sends U.S. produced meat, dairy, eggs, and produce to food banks and other organizations across the country. About a quarter of the funding the program received in 2024. The items that were delivered through the Emergency Food Assistance Program SNAP were some of the healthiest and most expensive items that organizations distribute. The cancellations of these deliveries comes at a critical time for food banks. Food insecurity is higher than any time since the aftermath of the Great Recession, according to federal data. And many food banks are reporting higher needs than they saw at the peak of the pandemic. Demand is only expected to increase this summer. President 4547 signed into law the largest cut to food stamps in the program's history. ProPublica obtained records from the Department of Agriculture each planned delivery in 2025, detailing the millions of pounds of food down to the number of eggs that never reach hungry people because of the administration's cuts. Okay. The cancellation began in mid-May when over 100 orders of 2% milk bound for 31 states were halted. I guess what is this? Oh, they are showing the cancellations. Cancellations for deliveries. 4 cancellations, 6 cancellations. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. Is it 4,304 cancellations in May? 4,000. No. Is it 10? 10 of 4,000. So that's not a lot of cancellations. Where are we at? 28 cancellations, 30 cancellations, 36 cancellations. 2,300 gallons of 2% milk. The Heart of Alabama Food Bank one of 23 council deliveries. What else do we have? 4,050 gallons of 2% milk. Greater Chicago Food Depository in Illinois, one of 52 council deliveries. What else do we have? The record shows that 4,303 council deliveries between May and September across the 50 state, Puerto Rico, and D.C. Each truck here represents the deliveries that would never arrive to food communities. 20,000 pounds of pulled pork. Capital Area Food Bank in D.C. One of 48 council delivery. 20,000 pounds of pulled pork. 38,400 pounds of turkey breast. Banco del Amido, Puerto Rico. That is in Puerto Rico. What else? 19,000 pounds of pork chops that were headed for Palm Beach County Food Bank in Florida, one of 5 council deliveries. 4,640 pounds of chicken legs that was headed to the Maui Food Bank. Let's see what else. Healthy foods are the first thing to be cut from some budgets when they are struggling to make ends meet, and it is really a lose-lose for everyone involved. 29,200 pounds of turkey breast headed for the food bank of the Heartland in Nebraska, one of 21 canceled orders. 40,000 pounds of pulled pork that was headed for Roadrunner Food Bank in New Mexico. I'm just giving you this information. As you see these lines, I should start shopping at the food bank. I don't need no pork. I don't need no pork chops, and I don't like chicken legs. I'm just saying, when you're hungry, you eat. 8,000 pounds of dried pitted plum headed for Second Harvest Food Bank of Greater New Orleans and Arcadia. Okay, so the link is in my description box. If you didn't know, you know now. Also, what I want to share with you about Let Them Eat Cake. This is the Let Them Eat Cake section of my live. Let them eat cake. Now. Let me make sure I'm sharing. Yes, I'm sharing it. Okay. So there's a political article. Trump administration says it won't tap emergency funds to pay for food aid. This article came out in Politico on. That's the agriculture secretary right here. Look at him smiling. Brooke Rollins. This came out October 24th. The Trump administration won't tap emergency funds to pay for federal food benefits, imperiling benefits starting November 1st for nearly 42 million Americans who rely on the national largest anti-hunger program, according to a memo obtained by Politico. USDA said in the memo that it won't tap a contingency fund for other nutrition programs to cover the cost for SNAP benefits, EBT, food stamps, which is set to run out of federal funds at the end of the month of October. Okay, let's be clear. The contingency fund for SNAP currently holds roughly $5 billion, which would not cover the full $9 billion the administration would need to fund November benefits. Even if the administration did partially tap these funds, it would take weeks to dole out the money on a prorated basis, meaning most low-income Americans would miss their November food stamps benefits anyway. In order to make the deadline, the Trump administration have had to would have needed to start preparing for partial payments weeks ago, which it has not done. The White House and Trump administration officials warned earlier this week they are unlikely to shift funds around to avert SNAP lapse for 40 million or 40 million or 42 million low-income Americans in November. Instead, blaming the Democrats for the pending lapse. Okay, the Democrats who are not in power in the presidency, in the Senate, or in the Congress. Congressional Democrats and anti-hunger groups have urged the Trump administration to keep SNAP benefits flowing into November. Some even arguing that the federal government is legally required to tap other funds to pay for the program. But senior officials have told Politico that using those funds wouldn't leave money for future emergency and other major food aid programs. So let's be clear. The people, this administration, who just gave Argentina $40 billion of your tax money, where it is already failing to lift up Argentina. Let's be clear. Argentina, which have gone to different World Bank agents, not the World Bank, different UN agencies, and gotten money and fucked off that money. Your tax dollars, 40 billion of your tax dollars just went to Argentina. And they are figuring out a way to bring in Argentinian beef to the United States for people who have money to buy to prop up the Argentinian cattle growers. But in the meantime, the cattle growers in the United States don't have nothing. Why are they bringing in the Argentine beef? To do the same thing that they complaining about China did with the soybeans, that Argentina did with the soybeans. So China was not buying any soybeans from the United States, so therefore they start buying from Argentina. Argentina, who lowered all of their tariffs on their soybeans. So instead of buying from America, the Chinese are buying from Argentina. Understand that. So our farmers have zero orders from one of the largest soybean purchasers. And then we give them $40 billion. And then they want to import their beef into the United States while our farmers don't even have a place to process their cattle. Because who own all the food processing plants in the United States of America? Who has the stronghold on all of the food processing places in the United States? Brazil. Brazilian companies in the United States that are forbidding other competition to even create food processing places to process the beef, so the farmers will have a easier time to sell their beef. So your president gave them $40 billion of our money. And then he's bringing their beef in for us to buy to prop them up more while our farmers are suffering. But fuck them. They voted for him. This is who they voted for. But I'm telling you, the ridiculousness that is going on in this government. I just want you to know. I just want you to understand. So he said, our beef, your president said, our beef is so expensive. You have to bring the price down. It's like $16 a pound. So therefore, you're going to bring in beef from Argentina. And to how is it going to bring the prices of why do you think the price of American beef is so high? Because they have to pay all of these plants that are owned by other nations to process their meat. You think that the Brazil plants are going to process the American ranchers cows at a price, at a rate that's going to make them competitive with this Brazilian beef that is on the U.S. stock market. So if y'all missed that story, y'all missed the story. I'm just giving you the information. But they refuse to go into any other money to feed the American people, children, senior citizens, disabled people, even these lazy hoes that's just popping out babies to have something to eat. All these goddamn babies they popping out, they gonna need something to eat. Are we clear? Are we really clear? Okay, okay, okay. Now, where am I? Let me see. Some even arguing that the federal government is legally required to tap other funds to pay for the program, but senior officials have told Politico that using those other funds wouldn't leave money for future emergencies and other major food aid programs. What other major food aid program will it not leave money for? Is there? It must be the major food aid programs in Argentina. America first. America first. Administration officials expect Democratic governors and anti-hunger groups to sue over the decision not to tap into the contingency funds for SNAP, according to two people granted anonymity to describe private views. The White House is, oh my goodness, is blaming Democrats for the lapse in funding due to their repeated votes against a House passed stopgap funding bill. Let me see. But this, I'm gonna get to the good part. It ain't even got good yet. The Trump administration farm programs this week after also identifying Pentagon funds to pay active duty troops earlier in the month. Now, they took Pentagon funds to pay active duty troops, but they wanted to lie and tell you that $130 million given by a donor is to help to pay the troops. They already took money to pay the troops. Like I said, they've already paid the troops because that $130 million would be $100 million, $100 to pay the troops, something to wipe their ass with as they are sending the troops out on missions and in the streets and all of this shit. A bunch of bullshit. A bunch of sleight of hands and what is that? 5 card Monty bullshit. They're doing with our treasury. Understand this. Okay. The USDA said in a memo, which was first reported to Axios, that it cannot tap the contingency funds because it is reserved for emergencies such as natural disasters. Isn't that what FEMA's for? The department also urged that using money from other nutrition programs would hurt other beneficiaries. What other nutrition programs are there? I'm not familiar with them. I'm not saying that there aren't any, such as mothers and baby. WIC. Such as mothers and babies, as well as school children who are eligible for free lunches. Well, okay, whatever. The administration will not allow Democrats to jeopardize funding for school meals and infant formula in order to prolong their shutdown. So they would rather starve the people and pretend like they are so concerned with WIC, and when they have cut food stamps and WIC in that big bloated budget. But now, all of a sudden, all of people who are on food aid, on SNAP, have to starve because they want to pretend like they're concerned about WIC and school lunches. Were they concerned about WIC and school lunches in that big bloated bill? No, they weren't. The top Democrats on the House Agriculture and Appropriations Committee, Representative Representative Angie Craig of Minnesota and Rosa DeLauro of Connecticut, respectively, lambasted a determination on Friday, saying Congress already provided billions of dollars to fund SNAP in November. So, November has already been funded by Congress. So while they're telling you they don't have the money and they're not going into the reserve, what the Congress people are telling you, lambasted the determination on a Friday, saying Congress already provided billions of dollars to fund SNAP in November. So where's the money? They have been taking money that has been allocated by Congress that is not in line with the president's views that Congress has already allotted. They have been snatching that money hand over fist. And where is all of that money? And not to say just the $9 billion of SNAP benefits that have already been allotted. So where is all of that money? As people are building ballrooms, as their families are making billions off of this administration. Where is the money? Y'all gonna get it. There is going to be something you are going to want to protest, but you have to have the information and you have to have the curiosity to have the information, or you can just lean over and spread your butt cheeks and get fucked. It is the Trump administration that is taking food assistance away from 42 million Americans next month, including hungry seniors, veterans, and families with children. They said in a statement, this is perhaps the most cruel and unlawful offense the Trump administration has perpetrated, yet freezing funding already enacted into law to feed hungry Americans while he shovels tens of billions out the door to Argentina and his ballroom. I didn't even know it said that. I was trying to get to something else. Congress passed a standalone bill to fund SNAP for November, but that would have to get through the Senate early next week. The House would likely need to return to approve it. Now, why would they have to return? What they would have to return because once again, Johnson has put Congress on recess until the 26th. That's why they would have to return because they have been put on recess this whole fucking month as they make over $280,000 a year to do their fucking jobs. Okay. Is it just me? I'm not on Snap. I ain't even. You would think I'm on Snap. You think I'm on Snap? I'm not on Snap. But I have common sense. I have common decency. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Johnson said this week if the Senate passes a standalone SNAP patch, the House would address it. Okay. He didn't say that he would call the House in to vote on it. He said the House will address it. As the Speaker of the House, would the address be addressed from you considered addressing it? Representative Don Bacon, a Republican of Nebraska, said he would lean toward using the emergency funds to help some food benefits flowing. I think the president and the GOP should do what we can to alleviate harm done by the Democrats, he said in a text message. Bacon also said he would support having the House return to approve a standalone bill should the Senate pass one next week. I figure the Speaker would want to. You figure. How come you don't get in contact with him and tell him this is what we need to do? I figure the Speaker would want to. When has it appeared that this Speaker wanted to do anything other than cut people from health care and make it harder on regular Americans? Trump asked by Politico Friday whether he wants Congress to pass a standalone bill on food aid. He replied, I'm going to let some other people talk to you. I will have a comment on that later. He don't even know how to answer the question. He don't even know what a standalone bill is or means. But Democrats are but Democrats are stopping it. All they have to do is agree to let go, and we're ready. We voted for it many times. So, what's your answer? Is that your answer? This is his answer. If he will allow a standalone, well, I'll have someone else to talk to you. I'll comment on that later. But Democrats are stopping it. All they have to do is agree to let go, and we're ready. We voted for it in many times. This is his answer. Would you allow Congress to pass a standalone bill on food aid? That's his answer. All of that. This is purely Democrat. He added in Air Force One, in a Air Force One gaggle. They they're doing something very bad. They're doing some very bad things. I think that they'll cost us. I think they're lost souls. Do you know what it is? They are lost souls. Democrats are lost souls, as the Republicans have already been funded for November, and they act as if there's nothing they can do but that American citizens go without food in November, the month of Thanksgiving. But I believe some of these same people who are going to lose their benefits will vote for him if he runs for a third term. That's all I'm saying. Some states, including Virginia and Hawaii, have started to tap their own emergency funds to offer some food benefits in the absence of SNAP, but it's not clear how long that aid will last, given the state's limited budgets and typical reliance on federal help to pay for anti-hungry programs. The USDA furthermore said states cannot expect to be reimbursed if they cover the cost of keeping benefits flowing. You can cover the cost if you want to, but we ain't gonna pay you back in federal dollars whenever any of this is over. No, we calculated, and we want people to starve. We want people to starve. You fuck around and pay them out your state money. You just gonna be out of your state money. We're not gonna reimburse you to feed the people in your state, even though we already have the money to do what we're supposed to do. I just wanted you guys to understand that. I just really wanted you guys to understand that. So, no comments. Okay, let me continue. Let me continue. Let me continue. Let's talk about the bank crisis. Let's talk some more about the bank crisis. Let me make sure my okay, I'm good. Let's see what Jamie Dimon
when money starts moving around and the rumors start getting out, then it just you can't hide it.
Yeah, even someone mentioned if you see one cockroach, it means you have family.
So like literally our banks here are the largest banks, so it could be real serious. And I've been telling you guys about this thing because first it was tricolor.
I apologize for the buffering. Let me
So I want to give you an update on the economy and also a bit of what other countries are saying about the USA.
What's going on today?
Well, it looks like the bank meltdown is getting worse.
Just starting?
Yeah, so we've been hearing about this, like there's kind of been rumors.
If people know about it, kind of panicking.
Yeah, you start like trying to sell out of stuff that you might be entangled in, and then you want to sell before everyone else finds out, right? But when money...
They don't want a
So I want to
run
give you
on
an
the banks.
update on the.
They don't want a run on the banks. Let me back to where. Let me get past this little introduction. Here we go.
It means you have family of cockroaches or even the big town of cockroaches somewhere, right?
Yeah, and that was actually Jamie Dimon of Chase. So like literally our bank CEO of the largest bank. So saying because first it was Tricolor. They were
Tricolor is the largest car lender, and they I think they have gone under. I think they have gone bankrupt because so many people are not paying their car loans. They have a huge amount of people who cars are being repossessed to the point that Tricolor, the largest car lender, has gone under.
basically in like an auto
If you didn't know that.
lender, and the rumor came out, it was, or I'm not gonna say it because we don't know how big, but it's like 100,000 bad loans, like really a lot. Or they usually use the word fraud too. And then there was rumored that there was another company called First Brands. So there's Tricolor first, and then First Brands. And First Brands is like auto parts.
Yeah.
They just declared bankruptcy.
Oh yeah.
Just like
that's a lot of money.
Like poof. I was like, okay, what does that mean, right? And then we start getting these news that various hedge funds and such are exposed. First it was Jefferies and UBS, and then like a whole bunch.
Now,
What's that?
It's not just American company. There was Japanese company who's invested company.
There might be, because the last number I saw, because we actually don't know. We actually don't know how big this goes. Last thing I saw, it could be like 80 different funds could be exposed to this. It could go higher.
Be, you see the triangle domino, you start one, but
you're going to hear CLO. I think it was a collateralized loan obligation. I believe that's what it stands for. But you're gonna hear this being sold all over the place, right? So anyway, what a lot of this is based on, and we've talked about this before, is that I call the shadow economy. You can call it any number of things, but essentially Trump is cracking down on workers, immigrants, right? So what happens if these people owe money, basically?
Yeah, people who own the money, basically they disappear.
Right.
They deportation,
or
they jail.
Yeah.
So how they're gonna pay back?
Right. Obviously they're not, right? And a lot of these people, we say unbanked or underbanked, right? Because they don't have the proper paperwork. They're working in the country, right? But they just don't have the proper paperwork. That's actually been a big issue in the USA of should banks ask for like all of your paperwork to hold your money or not? And in USA we have like a I'm trying to say it. You could say shadow economy, but like a whole underground way of banking.
So those kind of people, they're not gonna use a big bank.
No.
Probably
not.
They cannot, right?
Well, that's what I said. There's a lot of discussion on this.
Yeah. So even Korean, if you don't have a job and you don't have anything to tumble, you cannot, sometimes you loan, they ask you, what if you can pay back? What can we take?
Okay, yeah. So I think in English we probably say like collateral.
Yeah, collateral. If you
something
don't
like that.
have that, people just go to basically private, not bank, but private kind of office.
And this exists in, I would say, every country where in English we'll say loan shark. So it's like the people who take advantage of others, essentially. So like their interest rates are really high.
And they at the end, I don't know, it's true or not. It's movie and drama. If you're not gonna pay, I'm gonna sell your one eyeball.
Yeah, let's just say nothing surprises me anymore, right? So that stuff I can't comment on, but. The point is, though, is that with the Trump ICE crackdown, it's really exposing a big part of the U.S. economy. And the question is how big. and how I'm going to expose this, because I'm a worker, if you want to say illegal, it's fine. I'm fine talking about this stuff. Just in terms of like building, what do I call it, like an arch or a new bridge or something like that. I don't know, why don't we do this stuff anymore? Because
that's basically decorate of your city.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you have,
I guess that's all I wanted to see of that. I apologize. That was a little hard. Let me what is it? Social Security is going broke. 4547 says that Social Security is going broke. I want to get into. I heard a bald mouthed old man who does nothing credible say that immigrants want to get on Social Security. We all know that immigrants cannot get on Social Security. So this is the new threat from 4547 about this government shutdown. Social Security and Medicare are going to be gone. Donald Trump warns. He warns. This is a warning. When was this written? I can't. This is a Newsweek article. So, with this shutdown, he is warning that Social Security and Medicare is going to be gone. And what is the reason? 4547 warned Tuesday that if Democrats don't approve funding, there are dangers to the future of Social Security and Medicare. 4547 said at a press conference that when he asked Democrats for feedback on the funding bill, one said it means death. There's nothing about death, Trump said. There is something about death because when people don't have health care, they die. There's nothing about death, Trump said. Theirs is death because they're going to lose Medicaid. They're going to lose Social Security. They're going to lose Medicare. All of those things are going to be gone because the whole country would be bankrupt and you're not going to have any kind of medical insurance. So, if you don't sign, if you don't come back and we don't make a deal on the increase in Obamacare, the cuts to Medicaid, you're threatening that everything is going to be gone. Let's not forget that he said he's going to take away everything that the Democrats like, as if there are not Republicans on all of these programs. Okay, but this is what he said out of his mouth. You're not going to have any kind of medical insurance. Why it matters? At a point of contention leading to the government shutdown is the Democrats' refusal to accept a funding bill that would cut health care provisions, which many Republicans argue fund medical care for illegal immigrants, which is incorrect. They say that because they know that their sycophants are simple and they'll agree with them and they can be able to say, oh, we have the nations, the Republican people are behind us in this lie. Okay. Social Security and Medicare represents a vital support for tens of millions of Americans, especially retirees, seniors, and individuals with disabilities. As of late, 2024, Social Security provided monthly benefits to about 53 million Americans, nearly 16% of the U.S. population. Medicare and Medicaid similarly underpin health insurance availability for seniors, low-income people, and many vulnerable groups. Any potential reduction or administrative changes to these programs has far-reaching implications for millions who rely on them for basic income or health care needs. Federal funding gaps have become more frequent in the last 30 years, according to the Congressional Research Service. Hold on. They want them to sign uh, a, uh, a funding gap measure instead of instead of actually getting a budget passed. They're not even talking about passing no budget. The, whose fault is that? Who's leading in Congress and in the Senate? They're not even talking about signing in a real budget. Okay. Federal funding gaps have become more frequent in the last 30 years, according to the Congressional Research Service, which added that the issues are often triggered by fights over budget policy and partisan spending demands. Here's another one. Donald Trump issues a warning on Social Security, Medicare. What we know, Trump warned at a press conference that if agreements is not reached with the Democrats, programs like Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare will be in danger. There are currently no changes to Social Security. There are no changes to Medicare or Medicaid, but there are changes to Medicaid because people will be losing Medicaid under this big busted bill after the midterms. Let's be clear. As the government shutdown, which just reached its third week, continues. Let me see. So I just wanted you to know that. Let me also talk about. So you have some people who actually think that, and they want you to believe that these people who have work permits, who have these special Social Security cards that allow them to work in the United States. For some reason, you have some people who think these are fake Social Security cards. You remember Elon Musk went to Wisconsin and said that people were stealing Social Security cards to get jobs and work. No, these are actually Social Security numbers that says they cannot vote on the actual card. And whenever the card is inputted, it's my understanding that there is also something that comes up that shows that these are non-voting people who have Social Security cards. But why on earth would these non-voting people be giving special Social Security cards? Because they have work permits, and you know goddamn well the government won't they a piece of their money. So while they are actually paying into Social Security, they are not able to collect Social Security unless they become a full citizen. And I think they can, unless they become a full citizen. So let's get to those that these undocumented workers contribute to Social Security that they will never get for themselves. Let's understand that. So, let me share my screen with you and find the right clip. Here it is, right? Nope. Nope. Is it here? Nope. Is it here? Nope. I have one more. This must be it. Here we are. Oh God, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. I apologize. Okay, let me play the right thing for you. I thought it was an Instagram message, but it's a actual YouTube video. It looks like a Instagram message. Here. This is what I want to play for you right here. Okay. So we can understand how much these people that they are taking off of their jobs, who actually have jobs, they're actually getting these undocumented people. They're documented to the point where they're getting taxes taken out of these checks that these companies are paying them, but these companies are in no trouble for paying them. But nobody's mad at these companies that are allowed to continue to pay them. However, instead of them saying that they're taking something from the American people, I want you to understand how much less money is going to actually be in Social Security because they are deporting these people who they have working, who adds billions of dollars to Social Security programs. And they are never going to get this money back. But this is some money that has actually upheld Social Security for Americans. So these are just the facts.
Immigrants cannot collect Social Security. Every payment they make into Social Security, they never get back unless they become a... Undocumented immigrants cannot collect Social Security. Every payment they make into Social Security, they never get back unless they become a permanent resident or U.S. citizen. In 2022, undocumented immigrants paid $6 billion into Medicare, almost $26 billion into Social Security, and $97 billion in total taxes. Those are tax dollars funding our deficit, your Social Security benefits, keeping Social Security afloat. You don't believe me? These are government facts. Undocumented immigrants cannot collect Social Security.
After all of these people that they have employed in the United States and all of their tax income is gone, they're still going to try to find a way and blame it on the immigrants. They're probably going to tell you that before they sent all of these undocumented or workers who they had allowed to have jobs, but they did not do anything to the people who hired them. If it was a real problem of hiring them, they're going to tell you that they depleted all of our social services. You can trust and believe that they're going to say that all of these people that they have sent out of the country were on public assistance that they were not supposed to be on, that they are actually not allowed to be on. They are going to tell you that these private people know how to do the best they can with what these illegals are left in the coffers for Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. Understand that these people have contributed to a system that they will not get the money back, and they have kept these systems afloat. So when you surely hear them blame the demise of Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare on illegals, understand that this is another lie. Just like this a lie that they say they're keeping the government closed because the Democrats want illegal immigrants to have Social Security. No, they want the people who are allowed to have not Social Security, Medicaid. They want the people who are allowed to have Medicaid to have Medicaid. See, there are different classifications of non-citizens in the United States. Some of these people, those people who go to court, those people who they stand outside of the courtroom and taken to custody. The ICE is taking into custody. Some of these people have a standing within the United States that allows them to collect Medicaid, have private insurance, or they don't work at a job that allows private insurance. But if there is a undocumented immigrant that is getting Medicaid, they are going through the courts, and it has been approved for them to get Medicaid through what government, not states government, not sanctuary cities, via the federal government, based upon what type of immigration status they have. So if you see all these ICE agents standing outside of these courtrooms to people into ICE detention centers, that should be against the law. That is egregious type of shit. Now, all of these people who actually have the rights to be here, who they are disappearing, who are showing up for their court dates, are they disappear? Did you see any Afrikaners being disappeared in this bitch? Do you see any Afrikaners being disappeared? Huh? Okay. All right, guys. I think that's all I have for you. I just want to make sure I am not leaving out something I really wanted to share with you. Yeah, that's it. Also, that apartment building that they raided, that they took mostly black people out of. They reported this building. People have been calling about all the crime in this building and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I remember I did a story about an apartment complex in Harvey, Illinois, where, strangely enough, Hispanic people were boarding up the windows and the doors with people inside of them. These were mainly black people, sick people, and old people who were on Section 8, who Section 8 had paid up to date for their month's rent, who were going, the owner was going back and forth with the city about it being in disrepair, this needing to be repaired, that being needing to be repaired, and if you don't repair it, we're going to come and shut your whole building down. He totally ignored it, kept on accepting the Section 8 rent vouchers up until the day that people came, Hispanic people came and nailed up the windows and doors. I did the story about this. This was about a year ago. You can Google it. Apartment building that they were climbing down ropes off of helicopters and all of this. This was a group of 3 apartment buildings that was purchased by Sutton Flood, who is a out-of-state owner of these buildings. They're located in Washington, 3 units. Now, you would think that these would be profitable units because I hear that they are 1 block from Lake Michigan. They are 1 block from this new Barack Obama. So I think that the person who paid $18 million for these 3 buildings thought that, hey, I can hold on to these, and then, this is coming, that's coming, and, I can sell them more. And then she tried to sue, she or this company tried to sue the people who sold it to her, saying that she didn't know it had so many problems. So one of the contingencies on this building, they they wrote in that it had to have security at this building. So this person tried to play dumb as if they didn't know anything, didn't didn't answer any work orders, didn't come visit the property, and then people started leaving the property, getting in, stopped paying rent in the property. She was a slumlord, an absolute slumlord. So there is a report. Let me a little of this report from the Chicago Sun-Times. Unlivable conditions festered at Chicago apartment building long before jarring images of raid. The owner of the place was a slumlord, and then they would not even fix holes in ceilings, puddles on the floor from the shit running off the ceiling into the corridors, and all the mice everywhere, the whole thing. Now, you have residents. Maury is disabled and walks with a lift. The 55-year-old wears plastic gloves as she holds onto railing, pointing out urine and feces spots smeared on the walls in the building where she lived for a decade. She unit complex at South Shore Drive is facing foreclosure. This apartment building is facing foreclosure. So the bank has been trying to get this apartment building back from the owner, who has agreed to make different payments and try to bundle her loan down. Now, she got 3 apartment buildings for $18 million. And she has an apartment building in Georgia and another state. I forget the other state. Georgia and somewhere else. So she was trying this together. And so the lender said that she owes about $27 million. And she tried to get the lender to take $13 million. And the lender was like, no, you're not seriously negotiating for me $13 million on a $27 million unit. These the clips to this information are the last clip in my description box. So, long story short, this apartment building was actually that it didn't. It was always this bad. They said that the immigrants, the Venezuelans who came there, had one of these had those vouchers that the city was giving out, and they said, well, after I guess after the vouchers went out, they just decided to stay now and not pay anything. They did say that there were squatters in the stay open, no locks on them, no security like they said they would need, and they said that even some of the doors to the units didn't lock, and they had all type of squatters living in there. But what did they say about the Venezuelans that lived there? They said that the Venezuelans were the one who started cleaning up the place. They were the ones who started cleaning and mopping the hallways and the walls in the hallways. So I think you guys really need to read this story. It's a complex story, but what I want you to understand is that all Hispanic people, all of them were held. They said that they arrested 37 people. They didn't tell you they arrested 37 people who were undocumented. And they said that they found how many Tren de Alagra gang members? They found 2 in this whole apartment complex, where they had children, where they had black people detained for hours at a time in the middle of the night. So I hope you guys they after she tried to short them on the mortgage, they put over a different management company, and it took over in mid 2024, according to the resident who lived there. Next time they tell you what they say, I'm telling you, the resident that lived there has said that Strength in Management had, if they had really redid the building and did everything they were supposed to, I would not be moving. Murray said, not they said. The owner, when she went to court, they said you were told that you would need to have security. You know what that bitch said? How am I going to have security? That would cost me $15,000 a month. How would it have cost her $15,000 a month to have security? So you mean to tell me that you would be paying somebody who worked for you $15,000 a month? These are the things that the owner of this apartment complex was telling, as she did absolutely no work. And they said the second management company would come in every so often, coming in entirely. So you guys really need to read these last two articles if you want to know the real information. Let me see. Now, there was a murder in the apartment by a Venezuelan. There was a murder there. So what it says, recent asylum seekers offer landlords in rundown buildings like this one on South Shore living in tents and being evicted from city-run shelters last year. Many struggled to find affordable apartments with landlords who would rent to them. More families received state rental assistance, ended up in the zip code 60649, covering South Shore than any other zip code in the city. More people, Venezuelans and undocumented people, wound up in that zip code. Okay, so what else? Darren Hightower, who has lived in the building while I was there. I've seen graffiti on the wall, loud music, pets in the hallways, multiple people in one unit type of activity, he said, but I've never seen anything crazy. He said that he had repeatedly called property management and even the police about squatters to no avail. He said he was disgusted. It took the raid to finally call attention to the problem. Are y'all going to fix this building up? He asked the building owner. So let's be clear. Let's be clear about what they did, and they took over the building and all types of shit was there. Not according to him. Who lived there? Darren Hightower. Not according to him. Let me see what else is in here. Despite the brutal killing, tenants said that they hadn't seen a spike in crime or a spiraling criminal enterprises operating out of the building, as Trump administration has suggested, who had been paying rent through the I read that state assistance program, and said once the money ran out, she said that they were trying to make the building more inhabitable too. So that article is also in my Don't Gas Live. I didn't expect it to be this long, but it was this long. I appreciate your support. I hope you guys have a wonderful remainder of your weekend. And As Jill Comfort Zone says, Stace, that's it for me. Bye-bye.